But if a lie asks me good friend Mackie, it was a big lying competition to see who they will crown as lying champion. Liars from all parts of the West Indies, big shot liars from all them foreign countries. From a feel about 1,000 or so entry in 2 days, he boiled down and leave just 3. I had me eye on liar the lion, because I know he does come with some good ones. But they had a younger fella named Debo, come from some village there in Tobago. He say his father is Tobago's best fisherman. Catch a fish a mile wide, 80 feet in span. He had to tie it on the boat and swim back to land to get his brother Eric to give him a hand. You hear lie? That is lie. Lie? You hear lie?
Teacher Pussy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die.
Why, sir? Check it out. Liar the lion, he laughed till he sweat. He said, Mr. Debo, ain't say nothing yet. If you really want to hear about fishing, let me blow your mind. Now listen to something. When you're talking about fish, you just hit the spot. I was hoping you did believe it or not. The fish your father caught, to you it was great. But it's them small fish my father does use for bait. Lion went ahead on points in the show. Completely eliminated Mr. Debo. The next man to beat was really outrageous. He asked the judges if he could lie first. The judges asked Lion. The lion agreed. Say any topic we'll pick is alright with me. He outrageous, I strong. Let we meet head on. And when we done, see who head fit to wear the crown. You hear lie? That is lie. Lie? You hear lie?
Teacher Pussy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die.
Let it go. Let it go. Choke it up. Yeah. The outrageous say that he knew a tailor comes to making suit. The man is the master. If you show him a man coming round a corner, he could make him a suit and don't even measure. A talking about suit, sitting down correct, expertly made and fitting perfect. He used to sew for Shakespeare, make suit for Hamlet, and up to this day yet make a mistake yet. You know the crowd went wild, they couldn't cool down. As a liar, the lion losing the crown. The judges brought the crowd back to order and asked the lion to lie about a tailor. He said, my man is the best. Rolf is his name. Cutting cloth, making suit is his game. Don't show him the man, my tailor is class. Just show him the corner where the fella pass, and he go make a suit. That is tailor. You hear lie? King liar.
Teacher Pussy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die.
Whip it up. Pick it up. Let it go. Move it up. Let it go.
Teacher Pussy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die. Teacher Pussy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die.
are making history, Barbados. We are making history. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Today is Friday, May the 9th. And we are ready to go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let me tell you, I have been just watching Miss Dujon and how Miss Dujon is just shrugging off everything, all the social media hits, all the things that they're doing to her. There's a little lady, tiny, but I mean, full of punch. You know, I remember when she started our campaign. This is the song that she started our campaign on, right? And when she was coming out to speak, you remember that when they had the first meeting there in St. James North? Who can tell me the song? Who remembers the song that Mr. John came out while they were playing? They were playing the song and she walked out in that song. Now, I know I haven't said good evening, but, you know, I've got to big up Mr. John because she's a tiny lady. And this tiny lady, she is carrying so much. And she is fighting with such determination. I am so proud of Mr. John. Anybody out there remember? Who remembers the song? I'm going to see if you remember the song. I'm going to say good evening to everybody, and then we're going to jump into this song. Judy Dilks, hey, Lucinda Allen, good evening. Queen D, do you remember the song, Mr. John walked out on? Who remembered? Who remembered the song that she walked out on? V. Hoy, Winnie, good evening. Jacqueline Allen, V. Hoy, were you the one that Mr. Hood was bigging up in his article? Oh, V. Hoy, is that you? Oh my goodness. Celebrity. Angela Burke, Teroni, how you doing, Teroni? Marcia Miller, Marva Hunt, Diana Husbands, Lori Bob, how are you? Loyal opposition, V. Hoy. Again, Marcia, Joy and Robert, Shirley. Oh my goodness. Tony Paris, Liana Bell, Ryan Rock, Jefferson. Oh my goodness. Donnie Calendar, Sherry Berry, Nigel Carrington, Hasbra, Rochelle Thornhill. Oh my Lord. Wayne Austin, UB Shepherd. I hope you'll be anyway. We won't say everything on here. Joanne, Alvin, good night. Is that the same Alvin? Where is Easy D? Anybody tell Easy D? We said, where are you? We miss you. Tyrone Blackman. Donnie Calendar, Cami, Serlene. Listen, Tony, I was about to tell them to like and share. Tonight, folks, gonna be an amazing night, as always, all right? Loyal opposition, the question is, are we ready? Are we ready? Now, this little woman you see here, this young St. Lucian woman, born in St. Lucia and is now a Barbadian, showed us her passport. You all remembered when I literally had to bring my passport to show that political prostitute. Who remember? I had to bring my passport. And so she signed up with her passport. Yes. And see, nobody got the song.
We'll be taking care of all the children thereof. But if it's required, we'll be on the front line. You can
call me by my name. Yeah, you go ahead and play, Dave.
Same how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. Never say never, willingness forever to fight and be strong. Once it's for better, I'll write every letter and moving right along. And I'll roll with the punches, accept changes. Work with the formula, do what I have to do, and call me by my name. I am
ready to roll.
Rules remain the same.
All the stories being told.
Call me anytime, never clock out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. When you are willing to serve, we have room to observe, to see if you can walk the walk you talk. Let me give you my word, my voice must be heard. Bravery is a piece of my heart. Call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never tap out. A lioness is on the rise. Don't ever have no doubt. When the roll is called up, we'll be standing taller.
Hey, listen, any lionesses out there? Let me hear the lions and the lionesses roar out there. Come on, find a signal, something, man. Find something. Listen, this is catching. This is captivating. Listen, I feel so much strength from this little woman. I feel so much strength. They are so afraid of her that they wanted her disqualified. I am telling you, that's a fact. Don't listen to Peter Wickham. Don't listen to Peter Wickham. Huh? Those are bootlickers. They're not journalists. All they had to do was to do their work. Do your work as a journalist, you call yourself. I don't call myself a journalist. But I sit where I am and I get the facts. And that's a fact, Peter Wickham. Let me hear the lionesses and the lion and the lions. Are you a lion? Are you a lioness? Roar for me. Roar, 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 roar. Let me tell you, I'm feeling this, man.
Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime.
I love it, me, Matt. Listen, where the lion? Find it, man. Find it. Listen, I love somebody who can take a punch and keep going. And they are trying. They on Facebook, they've tried to associate her with somebody who is a known lady of the night. These are the things that they're doing to this woman. And let me tell you, the reason they're doing this is because they are afraid of Felicia Dujon. She is such a formidable candidate. Doesn't have the money like they have. If they should ever put that man up against her, I'm telling you, if like in America where they had debate, she would decimate him. Yeah? These people, everything they want to mention people's nationality. Huh? But I am so happy for this woman. Whatever happens, Mr. Jean, we are proud of you. You are going up and you are taking on a Goliath. And you can do that because you're a lioness. They don't understand that. They're calling you a sheep to the slaughter. No, you're a lioness. She is a lioness. And as one woman, I want to affirm her. Yeah, they played dirty. But she has, yes, Kimte, that girl has a fighting spirit. I wanted to read some of the words of that song because she said, and call me by my name, Felicia Dujon. Everybody, write her name in the comment section. You see, for me, I am all for the underdog. They are trying to rip her apart. They're trying to rip this woman apart. And you know, yes, she might not have a whole lot of family members in here, but we are her family. She has her husband and her children and her brother here. I know what that feels like. So you tell Peter Wickham, go do your research, you bootlicker. Bootlicker, Peter Wickham, go do your research and leave the woman alone. She has, write her name for me, please. Write the name. Write the name. Listen, write her name. And call me by my name. I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, all the stories been told. But you know what? They're trying to change the rules. They're trying to change the rules when it come on to this woman. Huh? Never call me anytime, never cop out. This woman is at any fight. She takes on any fight. She takes on any fight. Lioness is on the rise. Don't you ever have doubt. Wickham, Mottley, Chad Blackman, Minister of Check with no balance. You know who you are. All of you. And it says, when you're willing to serve, we have room to observe, to see if you can walk the walk. If you can walk the walk, you talk. Let me give you my word. My voice will be heard. Felicia Dujon's voice will continue to be heard in this country. Bravery is a piece of my heart. Call me by my name. I am ready to roll. Listen. It's time we begin to celebrate. We celebrate people. Nothing is wrong. You're not going to worship people, but celebrate. This woman is taking on. Some people say a Goliath. I say a monster. Yeah. But even she is so tiny. But look at her care. Watch this. Watch this, Sammy, please. Watch this.
Mama, you know I love you. Ooh, you know I love you, Mama. Mama, you're the queen of my heart. Your love is like tears from the...
Listen, you understand? I was there in that moment, right? And actually captured that moment where something was on the eye or some of the reporter. And she didn't mind whatever grilling questions, whatever. She was taking the thing out of the person, making sure that they look presentable. That's what she was doing. Play it again, Dave.
Mama, you know I love you. Ooh, you know I love you, Mama. Mama, you're the queen of my heart. Your love is like tears from the...
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is class. That is class, I tell you. That is class. And I just want to say, this is a woman of class, of strength, and, would make a great representative. And we want to celebrate her. And yes, go right ahead, Dave. You were really
The bee's hope is a man named Chad. Had fancy jobs, the suit looked not too bad. He talked real slick when the media came, but on the streets, he'll forget our names. Potholes deep and the taps run dry. We call his name, but he won't reply. In 7 years, not a thing has changed. Now the people rise, 'cause we've been estranged. Time for a change, let the old ways go. We see the light in the one we know. She walks with us and feels our pain. Felicia Dujon is her name. Vision strong and hands that heal. She listens well and she keeps it real. So gather round, everyone come forth. Vote for Dujon in St. James North. Chad's got stats and fancy plans, but we still have empty pots and pans. He's in the papers, he's on the news, but in our hood, we just feel used. Dujon's walk, whole town square, helping kids with love and care. She don't just talk, she does the work, lifting voices while Chad would shirk. Time for a change, let the old ways go. We see the light in the one we know. She'll walk for us through the sun and rain. Dujon hears and feels your pain. Vision strong, attention surreal. She listens close and she keeps it real. So gather round, let the word be known. We want Dujon on the lower house floor. No more neglect, no more spin. We want a leader who fights to win. Not for power, not for show, but for St. James North, row by row. Final time for a change, let the truth be loud. We're rising up and we're standing proud. With Dujon's light, she'll lead your way to brighter nights and better days. Vision strong and words that heal. She listens well and she keeps it real. So cast your vote and we'll go forth. Dujon will fight for you in St. James North. Felicia Dujon is her name. Vision strong.
Yeah. Oh man, I was enjoying that so much. Listen, that song. Don't you all love that song? I'm like, that's a sweet campaign song, and she didn't have to pay for it. Somebody did it, and sent it. Listen. Oh goodness. Yes, a voice for the voiceless. Is what it is. And even with the discrimination that she was enduring just before the nomination, she never skipped a beat. She kept going. Yeah. Oh yes, time for a change. Felicia Dujon is her name. I love it. I love that song. And many of you didn't even know that. Even she's not the Minister of Education, but she sent out a prayer and a well wishes to the children for common entrance, etc. And I just want to commend Mr. Thorne, the DLP, for all of the people, because I know that there's a process. I don't know what their process is in choosing their candidates, but come on, you think that they could have chosen anybody better? I mean, she's just amazing. She's a great candidate, period. A great candidate. All right, so let's just play the play. Okay, I thought it was some. Okay, all right, let me go again. Try again. Start from the beginning.
This examination is just one chapter in your journey. What matters most is your effort, your courage, and your belief in yourself. On behalf of the Democratic Labour Party, I extend my heartfelt best wishes to every student. Walk in with confidence, stay calm, and do your best. Your future is bright and full of possibilities. To the teachers who have guided our students with patience and dedication, to the parents and guardians who have supported them throughout every step, and to the communities that continue to nurture and uplift our youth, we thank you. Your love, encouragement, and sacrifice did not go unnoticed. As a spokesperson on education, I will continue to be of service to you and to advocate on your behalf. I remain committed to building a future where every child has access to quality education, equal opportunities, and the tools that they need to succeed. Go forth in faith, knowing that we believe in you. Tomorrow is only the beginning.
Wonderful. And that's what you call stately and class and and have a sense of awareness what's happening, and she's addressing the children, and that's what you need. That's what you need. And she's ready. What I'm saying, this woman is ready for the lower house. Ready. She's ready. She is ready. She's not one that you're going to have to prep, and the woman is ready. The woman is ready. And that's amazing. Now, let me just let you know that there is a rally tomorrow. I don't know if Dave can put up that poster for us, please. There's a rally that is going to be tomorrow at 10 a.m. And as the poster says, Traore is not alone. This is another one here, guys. This is another one here. The people of Barbados walk with him. The people of Barbados walk with him. Saturday, May 10th at 10 a.m., Wildy St. Michael, we unite to defend against Africa's right to govern itself, to control its own resources, to uplift leaders who speak for the people, to fight against neo-colonial control. And the numbers are there that you can call Lumumba or Bungalites, and they're the ones who are organizing this rally tomorrow, right there in front of the embassy, the U.S. embassy. I know that they have sent a letter on to the embassy, just declaring their views and the fact that Barbados, there are citizens in Barbados who are standing with Traore. Now, I want to use the opportunity to say to us, in the same way that we are so strong behind Traore, I say to us, my hope and prayers that we will find issues in Barbados that we can throw our weight behind those issues. We admire Traore because of his leadership skills, right? We admire him because he's putting his country first. He says, no, Burkina Faso first before France. We're going to deal with our issues. My question to all of us, almost 700 of you watching tonight, my question is, are you putting Barbados first? So as you go to this rally tomorrow, let's not stay from where we are in Barbados and we are encouraging Traore where he is. Let's ask ourselves, what is it that we're doing for Barbados right here in Barbados? What are we doing? So tomorrow, as you go to the rally at 10 o'clock, hope to see you there. Let's reflect, because it caused me this evening to sit down and to really reflect on what exactly am I doing for Barbados? Yeah, I asked myself, am I serious about this? Am I in it for the long haul? Some of us, we love Burkina Faso, then we love Barbados. Well, that's a whole nother thing. But but we're going to be down there tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to show our love for Burkina Faso and for Traore, as we also think about Barbados and what what we need to do for our country. Yes. Okay. Thank you all so very, very much. Thank you, Dave. Now, folks, tonight we're going to talk with a Calypsonian. A Calypsonian that has the sweetest voice. I know you out there, and you have your special, you're a fan of bear, you have your pick of the crop star or your soca star, that you're a fan of, Well, let me tell you, when it comes on to sweetness and melodies and oh my goodness, can anybody guess who is coming on the show tonight? And while you're guessing, I'll tell you what he's going to be speaking about. Well, this Calypsonian, he's going to tell us how many years he's been singing calypso here in Barbados. And we say singing because not everybody can sing. Some people talk calypso, but this man sings it. He sings. And he's going to talk about the level of control and fear that the Calypsonians are experiencing in this country. We heard it from those, from the young people, the young men who came on and a couple of weeks ago. And we're not going to hear from somebody who's going to talk about that and how the fear in the country how that has impacted calypso and the quality of calypsos that we are experiencing. And following that, we're going to have the president of the DLP will be with us, and we're going to talk about that woman, Miss Dimmott. Okay, I'm going to talk about my experience with her, with Renee Dimmott. So don't leave. I want you to share. I want you, you're going to see exactly why I applaud the people, whoever it is that decided not to vote for Ms. Dimmott, to make her a representative of whatever that constituency is. I applaud them. They have made a fantastic decision. And you're going to know why when I give you my story. Don't leave. Stay locked on. But and at the end, we have, of course, Mr. Adrian Hines is going to come on. We're going to get into the Neil Rowe and Wilfred Abrams and all of that, and Mia Motley, and we're going to get all into that, okay, a little later in the program. Don't go. So share for me, everybody. Share. Well, you got it right. Uncle Colin Spencer. Uncle Colin Spencer is here. Let me bring him into the studio. Good night, Uncle Colin. Unmute, Uncle Colin. Good night. Can you hear me, Uncle Colin? We're not hearing you, though. See if you can turn up the volume, or something is the matter there. We want to hear you. You're muted now. Okay, so they're working on it there. And now you would recall that last week, Saturday, Adrian Agard had he did a speech in Independence Square, very powerful speech. And he said that he told his colleagues, he's in the church, that he had a speech to give to Barbados from God. He says he has one from God. You might choose to believe him or not. But he said he had a speech from God. And guess what? There were people telling him, hold a second for me, Dave. Yeah. There were people telling him that he's to be, that he needs to be careful. And why were they telling him to be careful? They were afraid of Mia Motley. There is a serious fear of Mia Motley in this country. And I tell you, the Calypsonians are no different. Yes? So let me just see if Uncle Colin is ready again. Go ahead, Mr. Spencer, go ahead.
Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
Oh, wonderful. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you on. And I'm so happy that it's working tonight, that we can hear you. It's been a long time coming that we've always wanted you on the show, and it's worked out now. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, and good evening to all of your viewers and listeners.
Yes. Well, we know the songs you do. I know Dave had one up. We're hoping that we can play something before you go. But can you remind us, how long have you been singing calypso?
Whoa. I think in total about 25 years. I started in 95, but I didn't sing every year since. I wasn't in the competition every year since then.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't sing in 2000. 2004,
mm-hmm.
2007, when I was preparing for the 2008 elections.
Mm-hmm.
So probably 25 in total.
Mm-hmm.
But professionally, I've been singing for 51 years.
Yes. Wow, 51.
Yes. I started singing professionally in December 1973.
What? 73.
Yes.
So this man, I wish we could see your face a little more if you dip it down. But I didn't want to even bother you because I don't want to mess up anything. But there you go. Okay, I hope it doesn't mess you up at all, right? Does that mess you up?
No.
Oh, wonderful. So 51. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh my lordy. 51. Some of us were little children when you started.
Yes, yes, very much so.
Oh gosh. Now you're going 51 years. You only skipped out a few years.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in those 51 years, which of the songs you would say that's the best one, my best song that I've done? You really, really love that song.
Wow. It's difficult. It's difficult. The songs that I really enjoy are the ones that get under people's skin. Those are my songs. Huh? Um, there was a particular year when I sang um, Real Conversation with Mr. Barrow.
Mm-hmm.
That got under a lot of people's skin. And a politician called me and told me that I'm very nasty. But I
Uh-huh.
didn't mind it. I that's my thing.
And
I like to.
you were singing about Mr. Barra then.
Yes, I was responding to what I call a piece of song that Gabby sang
Mm-hmm.
entitled Conversation with Mr. Barrow. So I had to respond to the song because there were
Mm-hmm.
so many things that he refused to tell Mr. Barrow. So I had to call back Mr. Barrow from the grave.
So I mean, you have sung about many politicians, prime ministers, all kinds of people in society. And but and what has been over the years, 51 years?
No, 51 years I've been singing professionally, but only
Ah,
about 25 in Calypso.
in Calypso. So in those
Yes.
25 in Calypso, have you ever had a prime minister calling you, or have you ever have to pay, end up in court or anything of the sort?
No, none of the prime ministers have ever called me, but um, there are a couple of people in society who told me privately that using the statement, Spencer, the people wanted me to sue you. I met a gentleman. I wouldn't say the year because that will say who the prime minister was. Um, he told me that they wanted me to sue you, Spencer, but I go to Trinidad often. I go into the tents, and I'm not really about that. So,
Wow.
I mean,
And
I
he
sang
didn't.
my yeah, but you see what the problem really is here, and it is not talked about by Calypsonians. You hardly ever hear it. The law is the law is the law, or is
Mhm.
supposed to be. But during crop over, the NCF seems to have a different law because
Mm,
I take my songs to lawyers. I've been through so many. Been through Richard Bayer, David Thompson, Frondell Stewart, Ralph Thorne once critique checked a song for me. Gone through Francis de Pisa, Verla. I'm now at Lynette Eastmond and Gyson Mears. So I send out my songs.
yes.
So and you get Hal Gollop as well. I send out my songs early,
Hmm.
and then you go into the competition, and the NCF tells you once you make finals, you have to change this and you have to change that. Your
Hmm.
lawyer cleared you, but
Yes.
I see it as intimidatory tactics by the
Mm,
NCF
hmm.
because they know once they say to Calypsonian, you have to change this or change that. They're going to do it because they want to be in the competition.
Mm.
They've made finals and they want to.
So you're saying that legally, the lawyers, these are lawyers, and they're
Yeah,
saying your song is fine. And the
yeah.
truth be told, I have heard that from several Calypsonians. I think of like Ronnie Clark and a
Mm,
lot of these guys, and where the lawyer clears the song, but the NCF is
mm.
doesn't want to clear the song, and you're thinking that there is an ulterior motive.
Yes, that is my view, and no one can
What do you
change
think?
that.
What do you think the motive might be?
It has to do with the lyrical content of the song.
Hmm.
If you're singing too much about the particular government or individual prime minister, what they want to shut you down. That's what they do. So if they don't succeed that way, they take you to finals and then they put you last. Because I tell people that there is place last and there's put last. You need to know what the difference is.
And
There
you
was-
think, go ahead.
There was a time, there was a year I was at the draw for positions at the finals, and I asked because there's a loophole. Calypsonians do not talk about it. They will talk about it privately, but they don't bring it up publicly. There is a loophole that needs to be plugged. After the song, after the results come back from the auditors,
Yes.
they go to the MC, who transports the results from the auditors to the MC. That is the loophole that needs to be plugged.
Oh, so you're saying once the judges are finished, then it goes to the judges are finished, go to the auditors.
Yes.
And then the auditors hand it over to could be a body of people
or an NCF representative who is charged with delivering the result to the master of ceremonies. What takes place between the auditors and the MC is the issue. And Calypsonians don't see, because we've heard too many stories about judges on their way home having to pull off the road because that is not the result they handed in.
I have also heard that too. I have also heard that judges have said that oftentimes, as you know, I've been in the arts area as well, and so you hear people talking about it. But so why is it that Calypsonians are not speaking about these kinds of issues that they're facing?
It is fear of being victimized the following year. Everybody wants to be picked, get a pick for the competition. So they're not saying these things. They will call me and talk to me. But publicly, they're not going to say what I am saying because they want to be chosen. I don't give a damn. They pick me or they don't pick me. They have that to sleep with. Because someone said that the quality of a man's sleep has nothing to do with the cost of the mattress on which he sleeps, or the cost of the house in which the mattress is positioned. It's your conscience. It's your conscience.
So you know, I mean, this is interesting, and I'm hoping the Calypsonians are listening, because Calypsonians, those of you who are afraid, you need to know that you're not the only ones. The church, the pastors are afraid of this motley government as well. But normally, I was saying to you when we did our little pre-interview pre-discussion today, I said to you that oftentimes in society, when people, especially in the Caribbean, when we're afraid, you might have people afraid to say something, they know they could go to the tents. And when they go to the tent is in the tent, the Calypsonian becomes an activist then. And the Calypsonian will then bring all of these issues up, and this is our time now to say, yes, get them, Colin, get them plastic bag, get them. But now we go to the tents and they're singing lullabies to us.
That is what they're singing. This is the position, and the NCF doesn't seem to get it. The quality of calypso at finals is poor because of the songs in the tent. People write songs for tent. Maybe the name needs to be changed from crop over to Carnival, Barbados Carnival. So people hear this crop over and think they must sing about back in the old time days, save granny, look after your mother, take care of the children. This is Carnival. It is just entitled crop over, but it is Carnival. So very soon we might as well have the finals in somebody's church. There's some titles that are used up. Songs about Africa, songs about the slave trade, songs about women issues. Barbadian females need to be Calypsonians first and females second. So that's why the material is just fit for the time with which these people sing. So if 15 years from now, and you look back at what is being sung now, and your songs do not reflect what is happening now, you ain't saying nothing as a Calypsonian. You're just singing. And if you are not being interviewed outside of the write up your tent gets at judging night, you're not saying anything as a Calypsonian. Let's get serious. Look at last year's winning song. What was it about? In summary, if your song cannot stand up to scrutiny in the classroom, it is not saying anything. Can your song be summarized? Can your song be recited as poetry and sound sweet to the ear? So the NCF is rewarding nonsense. So people are writing nonsense. How difficult is that to understand? A few years ago, a gentleman placed fourth, singing a song where the hook line was, "When compared to God, man foolish." I'm 69 years old. I've never heard anybody compare man to God yet. Or compare God to man. But the judges don't listen. So my thing is, they need to build a little house at the Pickety Crop finals and have windows. If there are 6 or 8 judges, only open the windows of 2 of the judges. Close the other windows so the judges will listen. They don't listen. You don't need to see what a person is doing while singing calypso, because calypso, it is acceptable that calypso can be delivered effectively from the standing mic position. Look at all of the juniors singing calypso in Barbados. It seems as though they're all taught one thing and one thing only. Use the stairs, move from one side of the stairs to the next. And very often they're out of breath because they're in poor condition. But they're not teaching them to write songs. They're not teaching them effective rendition. Use the stage. I asked the guy in Barbados if he thinks that that Chalk Dust could win a song here in this island. He told me no. So I moved from beside him because he got me annoyed. But this Calypsonians in Barbados need to stand up and write about what's going on in the country. You have about 8 months you can deal with between the end of a crop over, and because you don't, by the end of March, you should have a song. If you're really a Calypsonian, by the end of March, you should have a song. So what have you been doing? Haven't you been listening to the news? Don't you care about what is going on in the country? How can you be living in a place and not be concerned about what is happening in the country? Then you come to sing some, a lot of it I call abstract calypso. How there's abstract art, I call a lot of it abstract calypso, because it's not about anything or anyone in particular. So my song this year is Get Serious. I sang it, I recorded it in 2020, but there was no crop over. I sent it to the VOB and CBC. CBC did not play it because of the lyrical content.
Were you cursing bad words in the song?
No.
So, but why? I'm trying to understand, why would CBC not play the song if you in the song you were not there were no curse words in the song?
No, and it was two different lawyers had vetted this song.
Two lawyers vetted the song for defamation and so on, and they
Yeah.
believed the song was fine. Two separate lawyers. But CBC, what can you tell us? Is it okay for you to tell us about the song? What was the song about?
The chorus, each chorus had the same opening lines.
Yeah,
we sang about Dipper and Tom, we sang about Bree, we lambast Arthur and Thompson, and of course Sandy. When it came to Frondell Stewart, we demolished it. Now it's clear to me that Calypsonians freed me and Motley. All of the choruses have that in it.
All of them have that. I would like you to recite that. Recite that for me. Recite that because you know why that what you just said. Listen to him, people. 800 and something of you on. I want you to share. Take a moment and share. And if you have the lyrics, you're on your phone. You can't even send it to Dave. I wanted you to send it to Dave. Okay. Because listen to the lyrics again. Share, guys. Share. This is important because the pastors are afraid of me and Motley. The Calypsonians are afraid of me and Motley. The spoken word artists are afraid of me and Motley. There are even politicians who are afraid of our prime minister.
Absolutely.
This is the reality that we live. This is where we live. Housewives are afraid. Public servants are afraid. Private employees are afraid. The country, there is a fear that is there. And here is this man singing his song, okay? And listen to the lyrics. And CBC did not play the man's song. Play it. Say the words again.
We sang about Dipper and Tom. We sang about Bree. We lambast Arthur and Thompson, and of course Sandy. When it came to Frondell Stewart, we demolished it. Now in each chorus, I'm changing that word. Crucify him, demolish, and lambast. Everybody sang about Frondell Stewart. Now it's clear to me that these Calypsonians, they afraid me and Motley. So I have additional lines. So I'm sharing my lines so people come to the tent to hear my song. So in the second chorus, I am saying, after I sing, we sang about Dipper and Tom, we sang about Bree. We lambast Arthur and Thompson, and of course Sandy. When it came to Frondell Stewart, we demolished it. Now it's clear to me that Calypsonians afraid me and Motley, whose government hasn't addressed crime and violence through the years. Now they're at funerals shedding Hollywood-style tears. They take we land and give it away to them Africans, but they can't find any to give we people who still slaving on plantations. So get serious, Calypsonians. Get serious. I'm giving you two lines of an encore verse. I'm not recording this verse. I'm leaving here now by my sisters and brother to go to the studio in St. James. But I have a verse that I'm only giving you two lines from this verse. Calypsonians, get serious. And from your pen, let no one escape. Whether they were questioned by the police or charged with rape. That's all I give you there.
Listen, this is what we know Calypso to be, but over the last 7 years, the Calypsos that make it to the top, talking about, as it says, abstract Calypso, and the Calypsonians, what they've done, Mr. Spencer, as you know, they have just fall in line. The Calypsonians they've fall in line, and they deliver what they're supposed to deliver. All the songs are praising the Prime Minister, Mia Motley, while they laugh at Frondell Stewart and say his nose big and all of these things. Can you imagine the song? Do you remember the songs they wrote about Frondell Stewart? And nobody would touch Mia Motley.
Everybody. And what Calypsonians need to understand and need to be told, Calypso is primarily gossip, and name calling. If I ask any of your listeners to name 2 of the biggest songs by Plastic Bag, Romeo, Saddam, Gabby, any of them, you will find. If you ask 2 of Gabby's biggest songs, one of them would have to be Jack.
Yes, Jack was a real person. Jack was a real person.
Exactly. So people can relate. So Don sang about Tom Clark, who was the head of CBC. He sang about Reverend Messiah.
Yes.
The church by the side of the road in Black Rock.
He called the name.
Of course, called the name.
Yeah, but you remember the white girl Canadian that won. I mean, that girl. I met her family. They were devastated, but he sang about it anyway.
He sang about it. Yeah, that is what calypso is about. But people it seems as though we want to take it to the church. This music did not come out of the church.
But somebody's saying not only can the Calypsonians criticize her, right, because her friend at the NCF, they're going to shut that down, but they have to praise her if they want to reach the finals and get free trips to New York, Miami, etc., to perform at taxpayers' expense. You agree with that, Mr. Colin Spencer?
Of course. Yes. It's too much. It's too much. I can't say the words. I can't say the words on your show. What is going on with big people? I mean, people with professions, people who don't work for the government, people who can't get fired by the government are afraid about the government. So they're trying to sing about Africa and, oh Lord. Calypsonians get serious and tell Carol Roberts this. Commentary will be poor once the BLP in office. Because who afraid of me are getting handouts from her government. And that's why they're singing so much garbage in the Calypso tape. We've heard songs with titles like Africa in Me. That's why you sing when they rent your chairs and your tables frequently. And if you're writing bits and pieces of songs for the juniors, everybody knows you are rewarded with pickety crop dollars. That's the calypso people want to hear.
That's the one. That's when are you going to be? When is your tent opening?
June 1st. June 1st.
June 1st. That's a Sunday.
Yes, it is.
And what time it opens?
Sundays we generally do 7:30.
Okay, 7:30. And where is it going to be?
St. Gabriel's School. St. Gabriel's School Hall.
St. Gabriel's School Hall, guys. June 1st. Write it down. And it's a Sunday, and I tell you, I would love to be able to go there and do a mic on the move. So I have to ask your tent manager if I can come, and we will carry we're focusing on you. We're not carrying no mamby pamby song that praising this government. We're not doing it. And no lullabies. Okay? No. Because calypso is about it's about activism.
Exactly.
That's what used to fight for us. That's what used to fight for us.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The law is the law.
The law is the law. Listen, we are, I can't believe we're half hour is gone already.
Yes.
Half hour is gone already. Well, what's your final word you want to say to Calypsonians? Because you know what? We're not even talking to the NCF tonight, because the Calypsonians, they're the ones that need to rise up, right? You would you say that, Mr. Spencer? What would you say? What do you want to say to a young Calypsonian watching this program tonight?
Do your research. Find out the origin of calypso and find out what has been sung before you came on the scene. What are the songs that were sung before you came on the scene? It is important to do your research. Calypso, I am as religious as anybody else. I have a good mind and a good heart toward people. I'm a community-minded person. Calypsonians are supposed to be the mouthpiece of the people. You should be spreading the message that people, your song should reflect what people are talking about on the streets, on the call-in programs, in rum shops. That is the message you should be bringing. If you're not bringing, now every song will not be that type of song. There are songs that can be thought-provoking. There are songs that can be educational, philosophical. You know, I shudder to think, how would a Calypsonian like Invader survive in this environment where people are just looking to crack jokes? Yes, I mean, it is shudder. Look, watch the 2022 finals. At least 8 of the Calypsonians came out singing about each other at the end of their songs. Instead of trying to enhance the lyrics they already have, they come out singing about each other. And after you hear 2 or 3 people doing it, it sounds so stupid. You don't want to hear it no more because they all would probably repeating the same name, saying the same thing. It has killed the festival. Yeah, it has killed the festival.
Oh, yes.
Very often, what the lyrics they're using do not relate to their title. They're just singing nonsense, trying to get a cheap laugh out of the audience. So, to the youngsters, I say, follow the art form. Check the different islands and see what is being sung. That is my parting words to anyone interested in calypso.
Yes. Wow. Listen, I need you to come back on after you do the you launch, you get the song out there June 1st. At your 10th launch. This is the All Stars 10th launch. Yes, I needed to come back and tell us what is what the feedback you're getting, and whether they put you to the finals or not. I tell you, you're gonna be the people's monarch.
I wrote another song because I generally, although the competition only requires 1 song, I generally have 2 songs every year to see just to see what's going on, because I wrote a song entitled Under Her Watch. And this was in reference to the CEO, the CEOs saying that the music is not up to standard.
So, right. So her there is Carol Roberts, is it?
Yes. So I wrote a song called Under Her Watch, just to remind her of the things that have taken place under her watch. The semi-final has been scrapped under her watch. We've gone from 2-song competition to 1 competition, 1 song under her watch. It also seems as though the NCF has become indebted to Adrian Clark. Under her watch. All of this under her watch. Nobody's going to sing it. I have to sing it.
You need to include that she vilified a group of young people, a group of 18 young people from the church who stood there and said what their parents told them, what the Bible told them, what their teachers told them, and they vilified them and disqualified them under her watch. You need to put that in.
Wow.
Yep, a lot of injustices under Carol Roberts' watch.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And
it was my pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'm not seeing my other guests, but I know that I need to I need to move on. Well, thank you. Thanks again very, very much for being here tonight. And you always have a space, all right? You always
Thank
have
you
a
very
space.
much. Good night
all
to
right.
you and your viewers. Thank you.
And if you have some more like yourself, you come, because we're gonna start something on here leading up.
Have a chat with kids. Have
Huh?
a chat with Kid Sight. Have a
Yes, he
chat with
comes.
Mr.
He's been on already. He's been on
Have a
as
chat
well.
with Have a chat with Mr. Dill.
Yes. Right. I have their numbers, so we will
Good.
do that. Thank you so much. And I
Thank
know
you. Good.
Kid Sight is watching, but I thought he comes on and speaks about it all the time. Let's have you this time. Thank you, Mr. Spencer. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Good night.
Yes. Good night.
Let me tell you plain, you'll never ever hear him attacking the beast again. He didn't tell you about that Williams fella who never ceases to amuse, who like to think that success in politics comes via the CBC Evening News. He didn't tell you what we do when we want natural gas or a public road fix. We pray to the Lord, call David Sealer Halut, put in a request for it. Not a word about what a great politician Mr. Tudor turned out to be, and how we congratulate his parents for christening him so appropriately. So anytime you want to know, Mr. Barrow, what's going on about here, let me tell you, pick up your phone and call Spencer right away. Cause I gonna tell you the gospel. Pick up your phone and call Spencer right away. Ah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Bye, line. Biddy-dee-dong, be-dong, biddy.
Ah. And listen, you could listen. Isn't this lovely? I mean, this is what you hear in the tent. You go to the tent, and people like me should go to the tent and don't know if I'm going to be in a song or not. I should be able to go to the tent, and I'm nervous because that is what happens. That is what happens. This is when we through song, through music is how we get. The jobs go out, and now they've taken that out of it. And the CEO is cursing the people and the Calypsonians and telling them that they're horrible. That's what she says, that the songs are horrible, and that's why they're killing the festival. They don't blame the Calypsonians. They don't blame the people at the top. Yeah. But you know what? I heard the Prime Minister. I heard that the Prime Minister said a couple things on because I don't see my other guests as yet. I see my 8:30 is getting ready, and he whenever he's ready, he might be able to come in and join me till my 8 o'clock comes. But did you all hear the Prime Minister, Honorable Mia Mottley, saying that the opposition is politicizing crime? Is making crime political. Did you hear that? I could not believe my ears. I could not believe my ears. Who heard that? I don't have the link to play tonight, but I can tell you that this is what the Prime Minister was saying, and it seems like all those people that commenting online and all of that, like she's aware that you have a short memories, as as it's been reported that they have said is that, well, you know what, we're 9-day wonders. After 9 days we forget. So 7 years ago we're not going to remember. 7 years ago we will not remember that her and Dale Marshall were asking for the resignation of the then Attorney General. And I think Dave has a clip there with a little bit of her speech, her press conference on crime in Barbados. I hope Dave has a little bit that play a little bit for me, please.
Good evening, Barbadians. About 48 hours ago, our country, and indeed our neighbors in the region, were shaken by an uncharacteristic display of senseless and lethal violence that left Barbadians and visitors to our national festival fearful for their personal safety. At the outset, I wish to extend my sympathy to the family of Carried Rock, and best wishes for a speedy healing and recovery to all those injured and otherwise affected on Kadooment Day. I cannot imagine the pain that your families are enduring, especially since none of you expected this end to your Kadooment Day when you awoke Monday morning. An occurrence of such magnitude in any democratically governed country would normally elicit the announcement of concrete plans, ensuring that Barbadians may go about their ordinary business without having to panic or to be anxious. It is even more so when the regional and international community are watching us, as they are aware that we will be hosting our regional cultural festival Carifesta at the end of next week for a period of about 10 days, and that persons coming to our shores will want to know that these matters are being addressed. While we appreciate the moral message delivered by the Prime Minister and indeed the Christian Council, we remain deeply concerned that it is only the Prime Minister and his government who constitute the executive of the country and who are the majority in Parliament. In simple terms, the only persons who can provide resources to the police or to the courts or to the social agencies or to partner with communities and civil society or who can facilitate the passage of legislation is the Prime Minister and his government. What makes Mr. Stewart's failure to provide specific concrete measures more troubling is that he is also the Minister of Defense and National Security.
Folks, I just want you to think. I wanted you to hear that. Did you realize that you did not hear any talk about parents, blaming parents? You did not hear anything about cell phones. She didn't blame cell phones. She didn't, because remember, she didn't blame tint. She didn't blame cell phones. She didn't blame the parents. She didn't blame the society, the communities. She placed all the blame, this pretender, placed this fake person on the screen, placed all the blame at the PM and his government. Brenda Stewart and the government. Let me bring on right here Mr. Worrell, because there's things like these, you know, I go off on this. Let me just bring in Mr. Worrell here, the president of the Democratic Labour Party. Good night, Mr. Worrell. Dave, you can put it back on the screen. I know a lot of people don't want to see it, but we could put it back on the screen so that people know what we're talking about.
Hello, good night, Marcia, and to all of your viewers on the Marcia Week Show.
Yes, good night, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. I know you're very, very busy right now in St. James North. I see you down there and you're working very, very hard along with that lioness, Felicia Dujon. But before we jump into what's happening into St. James North, let's deal with this situation here where it is where the Prime Minister is saying that your political leader is making crime a political football, basically. But I'm sure you would have heard this clip that I played when she was in the opposition. What are your thoughts?
Exactly. It seems as though she has a bit of amnesia and does not remember those days. But the same way that that she expected the Frondell Stewart to deal with crime in that time, and it was not as bad as it is now. That is what many Barbadians are hoping, that the Prime Minister and the Barbados Labour Party government would develop the political will to deal with the crime situation in Barbados, because it is really at a horrendous state at this stage, and it is really terrifying a number of Barbadians. And it's one of the main issues that when you speak to people on the campaign trail here in St. James North, crime is one of the main issues.
Really?
And especially this is one of the part of the tourism belt as well. And then you have persons that live beyond the tourism belt into the neighborhoods, and many of them have to go through very poor lighting in order to get home, especially women, and walk long distances away from the bus route in order to get home.
The people want us to put back up Mr. John. Take her down, please. Take her down. Take her down figuratively, and take her down. We need to take her down from being prime minister as well. They want to see Mr. John. So yes. So
I
that's
think
it.
that Dave may have another poster that he can use because this is the one for the nomination
Oh, I
day.
will send it to him. Take that one down, Dave. Take it all down. I will send him something else to put up because I know you have a special meeting. I believe that's coming up
Tomorrow, so you can put up that poster.
Yes. So but tell us without I mean, what is interesting? I wanted to say something else about this crime thing before. Do you remember what happened at Kadooment Day? I don't know if you remember that, where shots were fired.
Yes,
Well,
I do remember.
what this this very this I don't even know, this pretend prime minister, what Miss
All right,
Piggy.
Dave, let me send you another one and you can change that one. So let me send you another one.
Okay, I think because that's the one I have as well.
Yeah, let me send you another one. I'll send it now.
Okay, all right. So while you're looking for that, let me just set up the question or the discussion point, and I'll talk to the viewers. Now, viewers, I remember that Kadooment Day. What happened was that shots were fired. Some guys were, they had some gang warfare. Now, the way Miss Motley had a press conference after that occurred. Would you believe that nobody died? Now, I am not saying that it was right for shots to be fired, but I am saying if you listen to her tone, and she said that the people in the region are concerned. She talked about the regional community, they're watching us. So
Mm-hmm.
when at a netball match somebody put a gunshot in a what, how old was the boy?
A
13-year-old boy head.
13-year-old. Correct.
Where was the press conference?
And I wonder if she also remembered that on the same day that that 13-year-old was buried, a 14-year-old was grazed with a bullet in his home in Nelson Street. I remember how the grandmother
Can I tell you?
veiled.
Can I tell you? We went and saw and we saw the boys. There are two. One was 11 and one
Mhm.
was 14. There are two that got grazed, sir. And
Correct.
they and the 11-year-old goes to goes to go to the same school, Lodge.
Hmm.
And had
Lodge,
just
yes.
come home. He had just come home from the funeral and sat
From the
down eating
funeral.
a meat roll and a juicy when the shot grazed him and grazed his brother on the inside. But continue.
Right. So, and then you remember how the grandmother pleaded with the Attorney General Dale Marshall to do something about it. And up to now, you have not heard the Attorney General addressing the crime situation. And Marcia, many people believe that the crime situation in Barbados can be dealt with, but it needs political will because it is not a one fix that will deal with it. It's a number of issues that need to be dealt with in order to address the crime situation. One would be employment opportunities for the young people. Two would be the cost of living. And then there are many young people who there are not enough activities to engage them. And this government came along and basically stopped a number of those activities. Right? We had the constituency councils, which did a number of things to engage young people within communities. Many of the community centers are closed at night, in particular, when people would be home, and they can be used to engage persons in skills training, activity, or other recreational activities that could help to draw persons away from crime. So there are a lot of things that can be done. And the important thing, they seem to know who the criminals are, because remember that the new minister with responsibility for crime immediately on taking on the position said that he's going to meet with the gangsters. So if you're going to meet with the gangsters and the people who are responsible for the crime, why isn't the police being directed to deal with those persons?
Yes, correct. And let's just listen as well to this is when he was the opposition. It was when they were in opposition, Dave, I think.
Dale Marshall, Attorney General of Barbados. Mr. Dale Marshall, Attorney General of Barbados. Dale Marshall, something needs to be done about this. It is getting... Yesterday, I was so traumatized. So traumatized. I am not feeling well. My mother is sick. I had to deal with her all the time, and I felt off yesterday. The chair was there watching TV. I said, me get a nervous comedy. He's there. By the time before I hit, you better hit all this shot. I scream out, "Mom!" I scream. I try to come inside and shut the door. The little boy told me, Auntie, I get shot. I said, no, you ain't get shot because you probably hit your head somewhere. Come. He said, yes, Auntie, I get shot. I said, no, because I was not seeing any blood. I said, no, you ain't get shot. You probably hit your head because I scrambled them out and carried them inside. When the little boy do that, I said, all the blood. The next thing I know, there's somebody slapped in my face because they collapsed. My pressure went up. I could have gone there too. So that trauma, I could have just dropped on my died. Left my old mother inside there. Mr. Dale Marshall, my name is Marguerite Henry. Mr. Dale Marshall, something needs to be done. You are the Attorney General of this country. You are responsible for this crime thing. I said, no, you're doing it. You open the guns in nobody's hand. But when I go, get serious though. Because what got through my mind is not principle. I don't want to see God's face. And the law says you can't take the law in your own hand. But something needs to be done drastically. You want to tell me that you live in a neighborhood, you know, own house, and people walk in the street, walking the road. People walking the road, and somebody pulling a gun. People in the road, and somebody just walk up with a gun and start shooting with no kind of remorse, nothing. And when they can't do nothing, I want to say, you see about this human rights. And all the post people talking, everybody got rights. Everybody has rights. But tell me how in God's name that you can walk in the middle of a public road where people sit down there and playing dominoes, playing little cards, the little children there sit down watching TV, and you go out your gun and shoot at somebody. And you hit Nelson Street. You want to hit this part about it? The person that was getting shot in front of Nelson Street, nobody knows him. But Mr. Dale Marshall, Prime Minister MOTTLEY, something needs to be done. Because if not, if this thing continues all the time, so everybody's going to take it lightly. Because it got come a time that somebody going to shoot somebody tried innocently and they're going to retaliate. Yeah. Because they said you can't take it on your own hands. But something needs to be done. My grandson could have been hurt yesterday. My grandson is 4 years old. And he sit at this corner every time he's in here. In my place that I pay rent for, watching TV. He was not in the road running about. He was in at me. This little boy that gets shot is like a nephew to me. He's sitting down here every day. And you won't tell me that bullet come through there, come through a barrel. And what I want to say is not printable. Mr. Dale Marshall. Dale, want to do something?
And I could feel her frustration and her pain because that was a serious situation. I went to the funeral, and then to hear that in the news the same evening, what is going on in this country? And by the grace of God, thankfully, the two young persons were not killed. But I mean, if that had happened in this country, you could understand how it would have torn Barbados apart.
I mean, I thought I wasn't even going to be able to do the show when it occurred. I literally thought I wouldn't have been able to do the show. So I know that would have torn us apart, and to know that it would have been another child from Lodge. God, thank God that didn't happen. Just come home. But she called a press conference, right? She did a press, right? You're right. 7 years ago or 9 years ago, she did that for
That would have been about 2017.
thereabout. And no, not that it's good that shots are fired. Don't get me wrong, because I would never be happy with that. I'm just saying the seriousness of it. Crime has gone out over 150 something percent. Crime has increased in this country, right? And there are no solutions apart from the tint and the cell phones that the children using and so on. Nothing that is concrete. But as you said, it was you were in St. James North. You're hearing some of the residents there. These are some of the issues that they're bringing up to you guys, that they're sharing with you guys, and you're going to have you have a community meet and greet because you're opening up a campaign office there, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Right now, I'm actually here at the campaign house in Mount Stanton in St. James. I had ended up here tonight. The plan was not to be here, but this is where we ended up tonight because of all of what we are doing in terms of preparing for the election and on the campaign trail. But tomorrow evening at 6:30, we will actually open the campaign office, and we will have it blessed by priests from the area, including from the Roman Catholic Church, and also Pastor Payne, who is the brother of Joe Payne, who had won this seat back in the 1980s for the Democratic Labour Party, and along with Reverend Durant and Reverend Wesley Carter will be here. So we will do an official opening tomorrow evening at 6:30, and we are extending invitations to the residents around and in the area, in all of St. James North actually, to come and join us here for a meet and greet, where we will have after that a little sit-down conversation. So different from a spot meeting, but a sit-down conversation with residents, a meet and greet, a social, a mingle, where we can hear their concerns and their issues, and they can get to talk directly to our candidate, Ms. Felicia Dujon, who obviously will be here, and the political leader, Ralph Thorne, as well, just to hear what are the plans for the party's plans and Ms. Dujon's plans for the constituency, and as she go about meeting residents and hearing their concerns and their needs.
Yes, Alvin is saying that Alvin is saying that he will be there. If you're listening from St. James North, then that's a place to be, and come and ask the tough questions and make right. It's not you can ask the questions. I'm sure that you would not mind them. That's where they need to come and ask. Be straight up.
Exactly. Yeah, they need to come and ask the questions, and because as Felicia said, her campaign is about empowering the residents, and it is also about building relationships. So as a constituent, you would want to know what are the plans for the constituency, but also as the person with the intention to be the representative after the 21st of May, she would also want to know what are the needs of the residents of the constituency, because as she said, that her focus would be develop plans and activities that are addressing the needs and the concerns of the residents.
But I have a question here. I mean, I know that your campaign, because of just the way how things have been, with the party having all the, they had all the seats, and the DLP did not have anybody in parliament. Now, your finances are, how, the campaign finances and so on. How is that going?
Well, Marcia, I can say that we are not like the Barbados Labour Party, because remember that the Democratic Labour Party does not get a subvention from the government. We should have been entitled to the subvention from the time Ralph crossed the floor in February last year. And up to this day, no one from Parliament has said to us, well, you have representation in Parliament, you are deserving of the subvention, so we do not get that. So the Barbados Labour Party gets all of the $300,000 per year that is allocated to
And how much was
political parties.
allocated? How much was allocated to you to the DLP?
The full amount is 300,000. So we would have been, and that would normally have been split between the two parties. So we would have been
Right.
allocated
And just
150,000. So for
150,000.
7 years, they probably received over $2.1 million in subvention.
Oh, it's 300. It's 150,000 a year.
150,000 a year per party, but as they claimed to the only party, they would have claimed the entire 300,000.
I want Barbados to listen to this. St. James North, listen to what is going on. So when you see all the big promotion and you see influencers online and they are doing a lot of things, a lot of these people are paid, yeah?
Correct.
A lot of these people are paid, and they're being paid probably out of this subvention that the party, the BLP party, under the leadership of Mayor Mottley, have refused
to pay to the Democratic Labour Party.
Give the Democratic Labour Party a cent.
And the purpose of that subvention is to protect democracy within the country, because the subvention was brought in by Owen Arthur in the 1990s because he recognized that political parties do need money in order to run their campaigns and do the affairs of necessary for political parties to operate. So it is really an opportunity to to strengthen the democracy in the country. We have had a representative in the House of Assembly since February last year. It is up. And I don't think that the Democratic Labour Party should have to be begging for something, because we are represented in the House of Assembly. So why should we have to beg? I think that Parliament by now should have seen it fit that the Democratic Labour Party gets their share of the subvention. So all of the trappings that you are seeing the Barbados Labour Party put out for their campaign, obviously we cannot compete with them, and that is why part of our slogan is morality versus money, because we will never be able to compete with the money of the Barbados Labour Party. But we are still pulling off a very credible campaign with the donation and the support of our members and people out there who are willing to give to the Democratic Labour Party to help us with our campaign. We have, you would have seen that they mocked us and asked questions about whether or not nobody can't give the Democratic Labour Party a campaign house. But by the grace of God, I am sitting in the campaign house right now, and it will be launched tomorrow, and that's just one of two. We have one here in Mount Stancas, Prescott Road, and then we also have one in the Rockdundo area, a space that has also been provided for us. So we will launch that office in the Rockdundo area on Tuesday evening as well.
And as Dave has on the screen here, this is the kind of injustice that's happening in this country. And let me tell you, we are not surprised, because it characterized the kind of government that this motley government. We're not surprised that they would do that, because it's despotic and they do not want democracy to thrive. So though by law they're supposed to give the opposition 150,000, they refuse, and they did the same thing with Mr. Athley. The same thing. And you think you're going to prosper? You might have the biggest banners. Let me tell you something. If I were the people in St. James North, I would just go vex and vote them out, just because of how unjust they are. Listen, in the Barbadian political context, subventions typically refer to financial grants or subsidies provided by the government to political parties, especially opposition parties, to help them operate. These subventions are intended to support their activities in elections, including campaigning and party operations. And so they have been keeping the whole 300,000 for 7 years. So calculate that. That is over 2.1 million. They have $2.1 million to work with, and the DLP had zero. Mr. Atherley had zero. This is how much me and Motley and the BLP are concerned about democracy in this country. That's how much they're concerned about democracy. And a lot of you, I'll soon get back to you, Adrian, but I want to talk to the viewers. A lot of you go where you laugh and you say, yes, man, she's going to give them another 30. Give who another 30? Every time you do that and you laugh about that, you know what it's happening? Your democracy is being taken from you. Your democracy has been taken from every time you say, yes, man. And licks in the skin, licks in the skin, licks in whose skin? Licks in your skin. And I just had to do that little preachment to them. But, you know, the obvious question I want to ask you, and I don't know if you know the answer on the spot. I hope I'm not putting on the spot, but if you don't know it, you can come back and tell us. Why isn't this a legal matter? Why don't we go to the courts?
Well, it is not necessarily something that is within the legislation that you can actually, it is a convention of the parliament.
Okay. I understand now. So Owen Arthur created this, it's a convention that people with a conscience and people who love democracy would normally do, right?
Yes. Right, and it was started by ONF because it didn't always exist. It was started in after 1994, and when we came back into office in 2008, we upheld the tradition as well and continued with it.
And you continued doing it. She only changed it, folks, when she got in and took all the money. So the BLP, they are working with over $2.1 million for the 7 years and never gave a red cent to Mr. Atherley or no, Mr. Thorne for the DLP. Let me tell you, there is no way under God green heavens will ever vote for a tyrant like that. Never. And I said it. Thank you so much. We've gone over into the other time. This thing, I hate injustice, Andre. One of the things I just have this bone in me. I hate it. Why would you want to do that? You're getting all of this money from all these other places. And yet still, it's terrible. And you, audience, you criticize the DLP. Oh, they don't have any ads on social media. They don't have any radio ads. They don't have any music. You know, Chad has his, you know, calypso, soca music. Somebody donated the AI song to Miss Felicia. People say, oh, but you don't have any real song. You know how much to even start a campaign song? How many thousands of dollars? Where is she?
And I'll let you know that is coming out too. That will be coming out as well. So we will be launching our campaign song pretty soon. We have a meeting on Sunday night. So I believe that you'll probably hear that campaign song at our meeting in Rockdundo on Sunday night. But you are very right, Marcia, in terms of all of this is a threat to democracy. And that is why this St. James North by-election is so important, that we are asking the residents of St. James North to do something for the people of Barbados and take a stand against the threat against democracy by voting for Felicia Dujon, so that we will have that second seat in the House of Assembly, that second voice. With a second seat in the House of Assembly, Ralph Thorne can put a resolution and will have a seconder in Felicia Dujon and put something on the table that Parliament, as long as they allow it, would have to debate it. So that is how important it is. And then we would also have a second seat on the Public Accounts Committee, which would allow us to do more in terms of getting information, because there's a lack of oversight within this country, a lack of good governance. You would have seen the report of that the Auditor General did into Hope Housing, There are so many more scandals out there that we do not know of. That is just the tip of the iceberg. But we can only do it if we have a fully functioning public accounts committee and we have an opposition that is able to do its oversight and actually ask pertinent questions in the House of Assembly.
But thank you for that. Thank you for that. And I didn't. I just felt to ask you about the money because I like to be transparent. And I know I can see when I come, I can see that you guys they are using lemonade and making Coca-Cola. That's what is happening. They're making Coca-Cola with lemonade. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? They're using lemons to make Coca-Cola. Lemons to make Coca-Cola. That's what they're doing. And I still hear you. You're tearing them down. They don't have this and they don't have that. How they gonna have it? They are putting their monies together and fighting for our democracy. But
correct.
Let me just bring. Oh, you hang on there. You hang on there. I know you're at work. Let me bring in Adrian Hines on this here. Let me bring in Mr. Adrian Hines. Good night, Mr. Hines.
Good night, Marcia. How are you?
I am great. I got all riled up and but I'm going to give you back the time. We're going to be on
Not a problem. Not a problem. Good night, Andre. Sorry.
Hi. Good night, Adrian. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir.
Yes. Now, I'm sure you would have heard, right, what we were talking about, this subvention here, which I thought was a piece of legislation. It was a piece of law, but the hearing now it's a convention within the parliament structure. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, when this first surfaced, I was sent a PDF with the details of this convention. I have subsequently learned that it might have been that what I got is the current iteration of it, but that it was changed. It was never clear to me when it was changed. But what I got was it spoke clearly to how the subvention is awarded. It had language specific to political parties contesting elections, which would not in the case of Thorn, not qualify. But there was some issue with regards to whether that was the actual document when I first presented it, and there was some suggestion that it might have changed or might have been changed under the MOTTLEY administration. I don't know, but currently, as it stands right now, it clearly states the political party must have contested an election, right? But I go ahead.
The Democratic Labour Party contested every single general election in Barbados from the time the party was formed, and in all cases carrying candidates in every constituency.
I'm not doing justice to it. I was trying to find it. I have it somewhere. It was much more detailed than that, which give light to the possibility that it was re-engineered specific to the events of these 230 loves, which meant that I think it had to do with not only contesting the party, but having seats in parliament as a result of that election, which would rule out the Democratic Labour Party. That's what the document showed.
Even if that is the case, but you are purporting that you support democracy and you recognize the importance of political parties, because it is something that can be changed with political will.
Of course. No, I was just only going over what the document is, and I was getting to that because I did state this in one of my nights on here, that exactly what you're saying, exactly what Marcia said, that if she should be, as the prime minister and leader of the country, she's the primary guardian of our democracy, and she should understand that Westminster calls for a leader on opposition, and as a result, then the subvention, the language of that document, that parliamentary procedural document, should have been changed to allow the Democratic Labour Party to get the subvention. And I drew reference to, this is not even a constitutional change, which she has done to give two people jobs, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so this was an easy thing if her heart was in the right place. But we
Correct.
always knew that the 30 loves, and I always say this all the time, in my mind, those two 30 loves were more engineered than actual factual results. But I can't prove it, and I would only say that. But it was necessary for her to have ultimate control in terms of all the seats in parliament for she to do what she's currently doing, because she could not um, uh, she didn't care for any type of opposition to her, right? And so, yeah, to be seen as encouraging opposition by giving them a subvention is something that she would not do. So it is likely, yes, that they changed the language to continue to withhold that $150,000 from Atherley, I know from Thorne, because they don't want in any way to support objection and opposition to what they're doing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
as Davis put up there, that she did say, gentlemen, that Barbados does not need an opposition. We have that clip somewhere. I know somebody
Yeah,
can send it, and she is displaying that. And as you said, I mean, you know, there were two senators who were, one was Canadian, and I think one was another from another country, and
yeah,
she
yeah.
changed. They
France, from
changed
France.
from France, and she changed the laws.
The
She changed the
Constitution,
constitution,
not a
not the
law,
Correct.
law,
a
the
constitution,
constitution,
right?
to make allowance for them to be
But
senators.
yeah, something as simple as that, she messed with the Constitution, which that type of change, that type of meddling with the Constitution should be reserved for serious things, not something that's to give to people that you like a job. It's ridiculous. So this lady, yeah, it's clear. I just wanted to go over that, but I thought that the Democratic Labour Party and before them, Atherley, should at every opportunity make noise for that money, because people tend to forget things, you know. People tend to forget, and it would put her and continue to put her in a bad light. People will continue to
Mhm.
ask the question, what's why are you not giving the people the money? What's the big deal, you know? And put her under the pressure, right? That she deserves to be under. So I'm glad that they're picking it up again, and I think that they should at every opportunity speak to it, because it's yeah. I sure they will come back and say, oh, you all are hungry for the money and all. You know how belittling they can be. But in spite of that, it needs to be aired out there. More people need to be aware of it. That this is what they're doing, and to continue to couch this as a threat. This is another example of the threat to democracy that under this government, that they
Mhm.
are withholding the subvention that is necessary for the party to function as an opposition, which is a requirement under the Constitution and in the Westminster system that we currently have.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I just, I'm glad you said something that we're bringing it to the fore, and I want people to use your social media, folks. Use your social media, and don't say you, if you do, if you put a post up about this, that this subvention you're helping the DLP. No, no, this is about democracy. If that had happened to the UPP, you should make noise about it.
Yeah.
You understand? You understand what I'm saying,
Y-
guys?
Yeah.
Regardless of what the
Mhm.
party is,
But
if
the
you're a
government
true
has not
Barbadian,
the
go
government
ahead.
has not responded to it. They have not, because they know they are likely to lose this argument in the public domain, and that's why they haven't responded. And I think, yes, Atherley, I know the Democratic Labour Party has done me a favor by not continually to highlight this glaring threat to democracy, and not providing the subvention. They have not spoken about it. They have not said anything. I think they probably leaked the document that I got to quell the angst that was, because a lot of people were like, why are you not giving the people the money? What's the problem here? And apparently that document did quell a lot of people that had some initial issue when it first was publicized.
But we
But
don't know if it was re-engineered, as you said, in the under
agree.
this.
or
We
or
don't
even
know. So
even if it wasn't re-engineered, the intent clearly behind its origination was that this is to strengthen democracy. It was important, I don't think that anybody at that point in time, or enough for anybody, thought that or factored in the possibility of one of the two main parties not having seats in parliament. And therefore, it was unnecessary for them to structure the document in such a way to accommodate that, right?
But
Likewise, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Hines, but as Marcia, it goes back to political will, which goes back to all of the problems which we are currently facing in this country. We could do better with cost of living if there was a political will to deal with it. We could do better in crime situation if there was a political will to deal with it. And definitely, if there was a political will to strengthen democracy by allowing all parties in parliament to have access to the subvention, with political will that could be done, because the whole thing came about as a result of political will introduced by Owen Arthur at the time, because he saw it as being important to democracy in this country. Because remember that the Barbados Labour Party went through a phase where they only had 3 persons in parliament before they won in 1994.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
and so he remembered what it was like, and
Correct.
therefore, I tell her, this man must be crying in his grave right now, with these despotic people running the country. But they've played the clip there, and then we have to deal with another matter before you go off, Mr. Worrell. Play the little clip there.
There's much talk about voting for an opposition, and I hear it, and I understand Barbadians' sense of fairness. But I warn you that when you vote for an opposition, you may end up with a government you didn't want. Can the country afford that at this time? I say not. And if it happens, will we accept it? Of course we will. But at the end of the day, we already know what the consequences of mismanagement and lack of leadership are. They are too recent in our memory.
What did she really, Adrian, let me hear your thoughts on this here, because we need to remind ourselves. Go ahead.
It was reckless. It was political, obviously, trying to ensure that that they win the election, and making sure that they cast the Democratic Labour Party in the negative light, because that's what they do when you go out to campaign. You put yourself up on a pedestal and you tear down the other party. And I saw that as part of that. But she, as usual, Mia Motley, she went way over, not realizing her responsibility as leader of the country to at all times be seen as protecting the democracy. To make a statement like that coming from her in her role as leader of the country was clearly reckless. Clearly reckless.
And why was it reckless? What part of it was reckless?
Because we are a democracy, and that's part of her role, to serve and protect, ensure that the Constitution is secure, is doing its job in terms of building out our democracy, protecting it, strengthening all that good thing. And there's a fine line between Westminster leadership and what can be considered authoritarian or despotic leadership. So when you have hold an office such as the Prime Minister in a Westminster system, which has awesome amount of powers, for you to make statements like that, right? It is reckless. It portends a thinking that could be seen as an affront to democracy.
Yeah. Most
opposition.
Go ahead, Mr. Worrell.
And opposition is part of a democracy.
Yes.
Say that again. Say that again. Come to the front of the class. Say that again, President.
Right, and opposition is part of a democracy. You can't have a democracy without an opposition, and because there are 3 political positions which are recognized in the Constitution: the Prime Minister, the Attorney General, and the Leader of the Opposition.
Yep.
So
it's a constitutional office that every constituted parliament must have. It didn't say that if we have a leader of the opposition, it says there shall be a leader of the opposition. So that's why I even said that Parliament should never have been constituted without a leader of the opposition.
A leader of the opposition.
Yeah, and it's so difficult, it's so ridiculous that somebody had to resign from a party in a contentious way to become the leader of the opposition. There should be room within the constitution, knowing that this is a possibility, to ensure that there's always. Singapore has done that. I keep talking about this. Singapore has made sure that in spite of an election result, that there is always going to be a leader of the opposition. And we, again, political will, as Andrea says, these are things that can be done.
So
But
you're saying, okay, I'm sorry, finish your
go ahead.
point, and then
No,
I'm
go ahead.
going
Go
to
ahead.
ask a
You go ahead.
question.
You go ahead.
No, so what am I hearing here? That you're saying that the Constitution is saying there shall be, these three must be there.
Yes.
So
Yep.
why is it then all those years we were operating with just two? That means we were not following the Constitution?
I'm not all years that we were operating.
Meaning
You
that
mean since
before Mr.
2018?
Thorne, before me,
Um,
before Mr.
it was
Thorne
only
comes,
after the 2022 election that we had a period of time where we did not have an opposition leader. Because remember that in 2018, Lee, he resigned and took up the position of
Yeah.
the opposition leader.
yes. So what I'm saying, so in 2022, let's go there then, that all those years then that the parliament
Right.
was operating outside of the Constitution?
Yes. And there was one lawyer that raised it, and then he backed away from it. I don't know if somebody had a conversation with him or not, but it's a clear reading of the Constitution. There shall be a leader of the opposition.
Wait, you're educating me tonight. So take it slow, because there are others out there like myself. So talk to me.
Yeah, what was the lawyer's name? I think his last name was Patterson. He styled himself as a constitutional lawyer of sorts. And the title isn't necessary. It's clear. Any layman person reading that portion of the Constitution and just Googling what the word "shall" means in law could come to the same conclusion that I've done, and that he has as well. That "shall" is very definitive. It's not.
Was there, Dave? Can you find the Constitution and put that up? Tell me when you have to go, Andre, because this is very interesting. This is very interesting. I need to ask Mr. Thorne about that. You need to explain that. But go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah, so that when this lawyer walked away, because he wrote an article about, I have all this stuff, and it comes up every now and then, and it's difficult to prove because I have to go find the document to demonstrate that I am not, speaking out of turn or out of some wild ideas in my head. But he started down this path that that parliament should not have been constituted without a leader of the opposition, and then eventually he walked away from it. But he was on the right path. I guess he figured that somebody spoke to him and says, if you do that, you're going to cause a lot of problems for the structure of the country, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he probably didn't want to be bagged with that type of responsibility. He probably walked away from it, and then it kind of died down because after a little while, Affley came in and decided he was going to fake being anti-Mia and walk away from it and form his own party and get the leader of the opposition. A messy way to deal with the constitution of the parliament.
He came in pretty early. I'm looking at 2022, where all those.
Yeah, but the 30 Love happened in 2018, did it not?
Right, and then but Lee shifted early in 2018.
Very early. He shifted
very early.
He shifted very early. Go ahead, Senator.
So Lee made the shift very early in 2018, and that avoided that constitutional problem. But then in 2022, when they won all the seats again, there was no Joseph Attlee there, and for a period of time, no one took up the position of leader of the opposition. So then you had the issue with how the two senators were appointed. Right, so you had the.
Could find that. Do you know which section in I feel like Adrian knows everything. And each second, what section? If anybody knows, any lawyer that's listening, and let me check my phone because I know people will be messaging me around now. Anybody knows where in the Constitution that we can find it?
It would be in the early sections of the Constitution.
Early section of the Constitution.
Yes. So if you just Google the Constitution of Barbados and look for the early sections where it outlines the the president. Well, you don't have one saying president, no, because we don't have that in our constitution. So you should be able to find it.
Right.
Okay. Dave, did you find it and tell us what are we looking at here? 75? Is it 75, Dave? This is very interesting.
But
Wow.
even matters
Was that
of this
section 75?
nature,
Yeah, we need to somebody can find it, and so we are reading the correct thing. Yeah, I think we need to be able to find the right thing. I mean, I will probably do it another show.
Yeah,
But
that is. Yeah, I think that's what you would have to. Otherwise, we'll
yes,
waste a
and
lot of time.
I remember there was as you were speaking now, all this is coming back to my mind about this constitution and so on. And
but Marcia, to add to what the discussion of which could be dealt with in a later show, matters related to the Constitution, I think that our court system should allow them to go to judicial review so that you would know whether or not the Constitution is fit for purpose and meeting the needs of the country at the particular point in time. Because in initial stages, our Constitution was written when we went to independence in 1966. Barbados has changed a lot since then. We're now looking at a Republican Constitution, and from 2020, I think that's like 2021 onward, and Barbados has changed a lot since then. So I think that you should always allow your Constitution to go to judicial review so that you would know whether or not it is fit for purpose.
Yes. Well, we will have to pick that up, because that's another thing. Guys, you really need to like and share this show tonight. Like and share this show tonight, folks. We're going to delve into this. Sometime as once I get the information, and I know my people going to be sending me that section very, very soon, because they get me all excited right about now. Yeah. Okay, somebody said to look at Barbados today, March 2022. 3rd of March 2022. Anybody out there, you're quick on your fingers. March the 3rd, 2022, Barbados today. Garth Patterson has an article about this.
Yep.
No, and you will see that Barbados, we are in a serious situation. We have been for a long time. Gentlemen, it's a long time. While they're looking for that, I know I kept you over time, and you have work to do at the new constituency office there. But I just want to say this, and Adrian came on for us to talk about other things. But listen, I know he flows with me, so that's great. But let me say this here. I want to commend whoever it is. I don't know your process in the DLP, and I don't care to know the process by which you choose candidates. I want to say that very, very clearly. I don't know. I don't know what the process is. But I want to commend you for protecting the people in all I know it as is Silver Hill. I don't know the name of the constituency. All I know
Christchurch West Central.
What's the name?
Christchurch West Central. That's Silver Hill is in the Christchurch West Central constituency.
The Christchurch West Central constituency. You were saved from a bullet. Saved by a bullet. And I tell you, I thank the Lord. He saved you from Renee Dimmott. I had an encounter with that woman the first time in my life at Jonathan Chase's The Solemn Walk that God spoke to my heart to put on. And thank you to the hundreds of you who came. Would you believe that lady tried to basically push me down? And thank God that I'm I was all prayed up and classy and professional. I didn't push her back. Thank God. At the solemn walk. Why? Did the people send me? Who's going to send me the picture that I asked them to send me? This lady, Mr. President, turned up at the solemn walk. Take down Dujon's picture because they might think it's Dujon, Dave. And it's not her. It's not her. This lady turned up. Would you believe loyal opposition? She turned up at the Jonathan Chase's solemn walk on that Saturday morning in a DLP shirt with the DLP logo on it. Were you aware of that? Did you send her there, Mr. Worrell, dressed like that?
No, we did not, and we definitely would not. And actually, I think recognizing the nature of the walk, we did not want to make it political. So we did not, members who attended the walk did not walk in DLP shirts or anything of that nature, because it would send a bad message.
She was the only person that turned up in that shirt. And not only that, she proceeded to, I saw her walking, and from the time she was walking, her whole spirit did not fit the occasion. And oh Lord, I tell you, the people will find it. So you know that I'm not telling a lie. This is you see her name even on the shirt, because you're going to say that it's not her. See her name on it there? Let me put it big so everybody see, because you all going to think that I'm making this up. And all this time, I never said anything about it, but until I hear this nonsense, and that's me. That's when I came on here after the general meeting, the annual general, because I was there, and I hate lies. This woman, you see where she's positioned herself? Right before the truck. So the police told us that we had to walk in twos, and we need to walk abreast. She refused to walk abreast. Nobody said anything to her about her shirt. But she decided to lead the march by being the point. So you have the truck. Try to imagine from a loyal opposition. And I'll soon be done with this. But it's important for you to understand what Christchurch West Central was saved from. She was at the tip of the march. So she puts herself to lead the march in the DLP shirt. So I went to her now. By this time, I said, oh my God, this is terrible. Right? Because people like Adrian, and so they would have cursed me and say, I do a DLP march. I know that. So I went, President. I went to her very nicely and touched her on her right shoulder there. I said, ma'am, I'm not talking to her about the shirt, you know. I just said, ma'am, can you just kindly step back with and join in with the others? Who told me to touch her? She picked me off and started. I'm like, oh my God. And her top of her voice and pushed me away. And I was like, what kind of behavior is this? And I left her there and I walked away. Being professional and classy. And her in Jamaica, we say being a tegereg, ratchet. I walked away and left her standing there. And I told my assistant, I said, you see that lady? So I have nothing to say to her, because I did not want to create a scene at the memorial. Not a memorial, but this is a solemn walk where you understand me, President, where they're just walking and praying.
Melissa,
and that is what she was ready to push me down and to create a big issue out there. All I was touching her gently on her shoulder to ask her to step back. Okay? Then, after that happened, nobody said anything to her. And this lady went ahead now and put something online and told the biggest of lies that I allowed the person she was contesting with, to get the candidacy. I don't know if I'm using the right terms, which I didn't even know. I didn't even know the name of the
Young
I
lady.
don't even know. No, I don't even know who it was, young lady or a man. I don't know. She said I allowed them to speak and push her at the back and did not let her speak. But nobody spoke. There were no speeches. So and she said it. I heard that she sent it to Sheriff Veronica and all these lies on me and all of that. I never came on here because I try not to use this to defend myself. So that's not the point. The point I'm making, I want to thank Andre, Senator Andre, and all the people that make up your team and the people from Christchurch,
West Central.
West Central. I want to say, my goodness, you have saved the people.
Well, I can say to you, Marcia, even though she was not representative of the Democratic Labour Party, I would apologize for the behavior, but that is not what we represent and not what we say. Because I just asked Melissa, who's here with me, if she was at the march, and Melissa was at the march. You didn't even know. Melissa's the person who
I don't remember even seeing Melissa.
Right, and she's the person who is the candidate now for Christchurch West Central, but she attended the march, and I don't think that she attended in any DLP colors, but she just attended to be a part of the process and to show respect to Shonathan's parents and, just the magnitude of what was happening. But I can also say to you that when we consulted with the members of the branch, which is part of the candidate selection process, the first thing that they told us, anyone except Renee Dimmott as the candidate. And I believe it is all because of the behavior which you saw on display at the march, and the behavior which we saw on display the night at the conference when we were trying to close the doors to the conference so that we can go home. Mr. Mott was one of those persons who sat in the doorway, preventing us from closing the doors. And even from the 22 election, I believe that there were issues between her and members of the branch, and they said to us, anyone except Renee Dimmott as candidate.
Well, I give those constituents a big hand. You dodge a bullet, believe me. And this is so important, because when I hear anything else, I cannot. This is not to speak to the process because I'm not part of the process of how candidates are. I am talking about when I heard and I realized the story and everything and connect all the dots. I'm like, oh, thank God, man. Because even I say this, and the last thing I'm going to say on this is that the family and friends of Chatterton, the young man who died, Jonathan Chase. Thank you. Listen to me. They were offended by that shirt. Adrian, they were offended. The message came back to me saying that they said that if they knew that this was a DLP thing, they would not have been part of it.
Yep.
And that is what is done. Yeah.
That's what I said from the onset of your show, that this would be a fantastic space, non-partisan space for Barbadians to regain their political confidence and maturity, right? Because oftentimes everything is led by an opposition party with regards to people speaking out about their social and economic angst. And when an opposition party becomes the government, then they forget about it and the people are left to fend for themselves. And I always have said that the ultimate opposition in any democracy, particularly in the Barbados democracy, is the people. And we have not been afforded in our system an official space to be part of our democracy, and that this could be that opportunity to grow that and to give people that area that they can do that. So I was always of that opinion that as much as possible that this should not, your show should not be seen as or easily seen as a wing of a political party. They can do their thing on their own. That's how I've seen it. So if that's what she was doing when it was not advisable to do so, then yeah, sad.
That's
And
what
and,
she
and
did. And I can
yeah,
tell you, I could
you,
testify to that because I tried to, instead of attacking her, I tried to put her, let her fall in line at least with
yeah.
everybody. But yeah, but sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, and you remember when Caswell and others were saying that they may see the Democratic Labour Party coming to the marches. I was saying no, they shouldn't. This is for the people. Let the people do what they have to do, independent of a political party. Because the last time we saw Barbadians come out, it was led by the BLP, right? And when the BLP gained power, they forget about the people, right? So if you do it on your own, then you can stand on your own. If a BLP or DLP in government is not doing right by you, you know what you need to do,
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, it's open to everybody, and if they
Agree.
come, as I said, and any party can come. We're waiting on, for example, St. James North. I gave the option to the two other candidates to come on the show. I haven't heard them yet. They know that they can come. The message was sent. I spoke to one of them and I interviewed one. So they know that they can come. And so when you put on an event like that, Adrian, you're trying to make sure that it goes in the way that it's supposed to go. But,
Yep.
I won't keep you any
But
longer.
just to speak, just to speak about it before I go, the march was a march. You were mourning someone who died.
Yes.
And to make it political by wearing party colors, that was insensitive. You're mourning someone who died. And we don't know what to wear political colors at a time like that is insensitive because it takes away from the major message, the concern and the grief for the family of the person who died. So even if there are persons associated with political parties who follow this show and come to your marches, you would not expect them to wear party colors on an occasion like that because it has absolutely nothing to do with politics. The thing is to show your concern for the crime situation and solidarity with the family who is grieving. That has nothing to do with being a member of the Democratic Labour Party, Barbados Labour Party, or the UPP.
Yes,
but you're
because,
there to show solidarity.
we had Trevor Prescott was there, and because of how I sent the invitation to them, Adrian, he stayed far and just waved at me like this.
Yep.
He didn't come near.
Yep.
I saw Senator, and it's the first I'm saying who was there. Senator Christina Hines is her name, the independent senator.
Former Senator Christina Hines.
No, not her then.
Hines,
the short one. The short
Monroe
one.
Monroe Knight.
No. She's an independent senator. Crystal
there are
Drake.
two Crystals Drakes.
Crystal Drakes.
Okay.
Yes, Crystal Drakes. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal Drakes was there. She tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hi, I'm here. You invited," and I came. And she just disappeared. And she had on her white top.
Yeah.
None of them came to ask me to speak because they know what I said.
Yeah.
And I didn't see her after that. She just waved like this and she was gone. And Mr. Trevor Prescott was at the back and he just like this, and that was it.
Yep. Time and place. And if you
but
can't do that,
the important thing is you respect the wishes of the organizer of the march.
Yes.
Or any activity. If someone invited you to participate in their activity, you respect their wishes.
Yep.
Yeah, so anybody can come to the march. Barbados, it's small. Anybody gonna be, we're people are either part of one party or the next. So everybody can come. The problem is the behavior and what we do and what we represent, time and place, as you said. Well, we're done with that. But I just wanted to congratulate the people of Christchurch West Central for dodging a bullet. That's it. Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say, Dave? Just put up the about the
community meeting tomorrow. Right. So we're just it's open, the launch of our campaign office, and we are particularly inviting residents of St. James North to come and join us, but it is open tomorrow evening starting at 6:30. The office is on, right, the office is Prescott Road, Mount Staffas, which is pretty close to the Roman Catholic Church. So once you reach the Roman Catholic Church, it's the gap opposite the Roman Catholic Church. So look forward to you joining us and having that meet and greet with our candidate, Felicia Dujon.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. Congratulations that you worked hard and you get it done. You got it done. I'm sorry. You have you now have a constituency office there on no budget. You're operating on no budget, but you guys are doing it. God bless you. And thank you for being on tonight. I know you're busy.
Yes, I still have 2 more stops to make within the constituency tonight. So the work continues.
Let me let you go. Let me let you go. All right.
All right.
Thank you. Yes. Okay.
All right. Have a good night and thanks for having me.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Good night. Good night.
Yes. Good night. Good night, caller. Go right ahead.
Good
Mr.
night.
Young.
This is Victor Hans Simon Young.
Welcome. Welcome, Victor.
Listen to me. When I saw that picture and I saw that kind of person, that is nobody to put into the House of Assembly. That kind of reptile behavior and things. You don't put those kind of people in anywhere. And I really agree with that young gentleman, the president. He's a boy of some kind of, quality. You can see his quality. You can see that he was raised up properly. You don't put those reptiles so in any section. She looked like she's a kind of war fighter. She would just want to break you up. But I'm going to tell you, it's a good thing that you weren't any family to me. So I tell you, I would have to put these senior muscles on her.
And I know you're in the gym. I know you're in the gym.
Right. Mr. Hines, how are you?
I am well, Mr. Perryman Young. I am well, sir. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm just here working on my biceps. But I saw that picture just now, and it really turned me on.
Yes.
That kind of behavior. I mean,
Yes.
that kind of behavior don't suit anybody getting to Parliament, but that's over the other side.
I the same thoughts I had, that behavior of forcing your way and your will onto any and everything is something that the other side is known for. I mean,
There's no kind of behavior with those kind of people. You don't get close to those people. You run from those people if you don't want to bring yourself in trouble. When I hear her on the radio talking about how she wasn't notified, just so you could tell that she was telling lies. You could tell lies.
We just said she's telling lies, right? We can't call her that.
She just right to suit the lies that she would tell.
This is those of you who don't know Victor Young. This is him on the screen. I am Victor Young, 85 years old.
Yeah, 87 years old.
Oh, that was when you did it at 87. You believe that? 3 years?
Yep.
That's right.
Marcia, it is important that you call his name correctly. It's Victor Anthony Perryman Young. Take the time and call it correctly.
That's the name.
That's the name.
I was a Perryman before I was a Young, so some people know me as Perryman, so I don't want to let them don't know what it is. So I give them both all. The name of the Young, and if they go there, will check also Victor Broadback Young. That's the name they call me when I'm on the track.
Right on the track.
Oh my goodness, Victor Broadback. And somebody says here you're 87.6 years old?
Yes, I'm 87. I'm just a baby.
Yes, you're a baby.
I love this man's spirit. It's just amazing.
Listen, Mr. Young, thank you for calling. You always bring that joy when you call.
Listen to me. Take this very serious.
Yes.
Don't let nobody hit you. Okay?
All right.
Do
yes,
not
Mr.
let nobody put their hand on you.
Yes.
Not even your husband, and they don't think he would put your hand on you.
No, he's not going to do that. No,
do not allow nobody to put their hand on you. when it comes to politics or anything. So don't let them do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Young.
Always a pleasure, Mr. Young. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, this one went very different, Adrian. But I'm glad
Yes.
we can flow because
Oh,
there's so
absolutely.
much that came out of this. There's somebody else is calling. 1 second, Adrian.
Yeah.
Good night. Good night. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Good night. Good night. It's me here, Lucinda.
Hi, Lucinda Allen.
Yes, I am in this constituency.
Oh.
And this is the first time that we've had such a show off and a show down.
Wow.
I was so upset hearing what that woman said. And it was no need to get on like that. I saw her there at the march the morning. It was a bit upsetting to see how she was dressed. As a political person, I think she should have dealt with the rules that were set out. You had said before that we would have worn white. And I saw what happened when you confronted her. Because, I was up front. I was one of the people that were there earlier. It was up front. And a lot of lies that she told yesterday, but you have to tell lies to cover yourself when you didn't do the right thing in the constituency. Those young people have a lot still saying. I had a lot to say. And I don't think that this was the right choice for this constituency.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen her, not even once at my door. Not even once at my door. I went to the office and I made myself known, but I've never seen her in my area, not on the street where I live. And it is time for these people that want to show themselves up and want to be big up like that to go and join the bully on the other end, the other side. To have another bully out there on the leader, go and join those kind of people that you could get to show off yourself and shout out loud and tell those lies and stop being so disrespectful. I was very hurt, very hurt hearing her with all of that rhetoric yesterday or the day before when it was. It didn't call for that. And it's good riddance.
Yes, and
Thank you. That she's gone.
And this is a constituent here. This is Mr. Hines. This is somebody from the constituency, and I was thinking only now that I understand everything, Mr. Hines, that I'm thinking, my goodness, they must have seen her. You see what I mean? But I didn't even know that that's how much I don't know much about this politics thing. You understand? So her behavior then. Because somebody came and told me that that
psychology is her thing. Psychology is her thing. That's what she should stick to. That's what she should stick to. As a nurse, because that's what she said, and she had no business saying what she said because it was not true. And we are glad.
You're glad.
I'm telling you that many people called and we are glad that it's a good riddance. Thank you, and you have yourself a good night. I'm listening.
Yes. Look, Adrian, you heard that? The woman from the constituent said, they said it's a good thing, good riddance.
Well, yeah, yeah, me, I'm a bit uncomfortable, tearing people down like that in public, but whatever. It's if you're in politics, you have to endear yourself.
Well, the people did not want her.
Yeah, and bully behavior, rude behavior, loud, aggressive behavior doesn't do that. You have to do the work. If my assumption is, don't know a whole lot, but if she was the candidate that the people want, I am sure by now we would have heard people in the constituency, and particularly from the DLP constituency branch, coming out in her defense. But we're not hearing that. We're only hearing her. So there might be something there in terms of they're truly not wanting her. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's you can hear from the from the DLP organs, but when you begin to hear from the constituents,
Yeah,
now
yeah,
that's
that's
a
what I'm talking
different
about. Right?
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
from me, I mean, who I don't know anything about the process. I just had that one encounter, which was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Anyway, we're moving on. There's somebody, another caller. Caller, good night. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Good night to the lawyer opposition.
Yes, good night. Welcome.
I don't live in that particular constituency, but I was born in Mount Stanford, so I'm watching and observing everything that's going on. But you know, when I go north, I have never seen the constituency office open until now.
So which one? Okay, so you are in Mount Stanford. Tell me where
the
that is.
BLP, the one that's in Carlton,
Yeah, that's the
the
BLP.
door is always closed. The windows shut up.
Mm-hmm.
They're now wide open and the door
Okay, so
open.
I have to pause you because I don't understand. Adrian, explain to me which constituency.
If she's saying the constituency office in Carrollton, I believe that's where the Barbados Labour Party's
Yes.
constituency
And that
office is.
which
That's the one.
constituency is that? Which but which constituency?
St. James North.
Right. So pardon my ignorance. So St.
Oh, okay,
James
okay,
North
sorry.
is what we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, continue now, please. Yeah.
Yes. So, you know, it just goes to show, just pump and show, and the whole rule, as far as I'm concerned. At least I can say that Colin Jordan's constituency office is always open and there is someone there.
Ah, but you're saying in St. James North, in St. James
contribution for tonight.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So the constituency office in St. James North, it was, and that was in this particular place that she
Carlton.
said, in Carlton, was not. It was always closed.
That's what she's saying. Yes.
That's what she's saying. Okay, and now they're saying they're opening up this office.
Right.
But here it is. And this is good to hear from the constituents. You know, what do you think about that, Adrian? Thank you so much for calling, caller.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Yes,
well,
yes.
Well, that is what I've known over the years when I used to live in Barbados. That everything is, we are vibrant and ready to serve the people during the silly season. Once the silly season is over, you don't see these people, and they you hear them all the time. You go to a church service. I went to a church service at the St. Thomas Parish Church, and I heard the then member of parliament, who I supported, but he said that he was lamenting not being able to get back into the constituency is more often because of his ministerial duties. That is not right. I heard the MOTTLEY said the same thing when they were celebrating her 30 years as the parliamentary representative for St. Michael North East or wherever she does. She said the same thing. She wished there was more time in a day and all that good stuff because she would spend more time with the constituency. That's not good enough. And I heard one of the BLP parliamentarians from St. Philip talking about not being able to attend to something with the constituency because he had ministerial responsibilities to take care of. I don't like to hear that. And I wish Barbadians will not accept that from politicians, from parliamentarians. Don't accept it. Your local needs are equally as important as those national needs that they are dealing with through their ministerial portfolios. Don't buy into that, because once you buy into that, then you're going to allow people like Mr. Kevin Greenwich to come and spew a whole bunch of macroeconomic statistics at you to tell you that the economy is doing fantastic, and you're wondering which economy? This one that ain't in Barbados, because I'm not seeing it, right? And trying to mask disjointed actions at the microeconomic level by spewing all this macro stuff, right? And this is what the politicians do. They talk about, the national need. I'm Minister of Agriculture and I need to do the XYZ. That's why you can't see me in the constituency. No, you need to do both. You need to do both. So yes, I am not surprised to hear that. And as I said, there are some representatives who are very good at both. They do both.
Yes.
They do the representation, and they also attend to their ministerial portfolio. And then there are others.
Mr. Wood was one of those. Anthony
Right.
Wood, I can vouch for that.
Right. So and those are the people that understand that at the end of the day, the core to who I am as a minister is as a result of my being a representative. So I got to do that. I can't use an excuse not to do it. So when she gave that contrast between St. James North, BLP, constituency branch being closed, that's an indictment in my view of the last representative, Mr. Ingman. And then she gave an opposing view as to what pertains in St. Peter with
Colin Jordan.
oh God, I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, Colin
The
Jordan.
constituent shouldn't be walking around saying they don't see their representative. Colin Jordan, right? There's no representatives, no constituent should be walking around saying they don't see their representative.
Yes.
Well,
we have a caller on the line, and this is former Senator Gill, is on the line, and he wants to speak a bit about that constitutional issue. We have a few minutes, so go right ahead, Senator Gill.
No, actually, well, that's if it's in the American context. What's a senator? Always a senator.
Oh well, I'm sorry, Mr. Gill.
No, you were asking if anybody could have given strength to the statement. So I flipped to my constitution and it is there. And I sent you.
Oh, you sent me. Okay, let me look for it while you're speaking.
Yeah.
So that
I had found it too, and I thought we had moved on, so I didn't get back to it. Yeah, Section 74 talks about the leader of the opposition.
Yes.
Then Section 35 and 36 talks about the constitution of the
parliament.
parliament.
I'm gonna put it up. Thank you.
Read it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I sent it today. Yes. Go ahead.
That I did send it on. Okay. Have a good night.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So in reference to that, right? So yeah, Section 74 talks about the leader of the opposition, how the leader of the opposition is picked, and then Section 35 and 36 talks about the constituting a parliament, with specifics to Section 36 talks about the Senate. The Senate shall consist of 21 persons, and then 36.3 says 2 senators shall be appointed by the president, acting in accordance with the advice of the leader of the opposition. Shall. So you can't have the parliament fully constitutional if you don't have a Senate. The Senate can't be fully constitutional constituted unless there's 21, and 2 of those have to be 2 of that 21 have to be done by the leader of the opposition. Shall means that it is mandatory, it is necessary. So that was a sticking point for Mr. Patterson, as well as anybody who takes to a layman understanding of this is not very difficult to understand. So to do that and not address it meant that it was not properly constituted. The parliament without a leader of the opposition was not properly constituted.
Yeah.
It was as simple as that, and that would have been easily fixed by, and I think they might have, by changing or adding to the constitution, because that part of it required a 2/3 majority to make the change. She had that. She had all 30 seats. They could the same 30 seats, 2/3 majority that she used to amend the constitution to allow Barbadians returning home and not being home for more than 3 months, I believe, or 3 years or whatever it was, that Kay McConney and Rawdon Adams, who weren't back in Barbados past the required time in order to sit in the parliament. She changed it to allow for them to be. So this could have been changed to bring, either to ensure that there is a leader of the opposition somewhere or somehow, or to change the constitution to ensure that without the leader of the opposition, the president can select. And I think that's what they did, but I don't know if they made the actual change to the constitution to authorize the president to do that. So it was like most things that they've done with the Constitution was done sloppily,
Yeah.
and wasn't they did not afford the
May I just
respect and
stop
reverence.
you right? Just break you there,
Mhm.
Dave. If you could just check your WhatsApp, we put in there the document, and if yes, I think he's probably working on it to turn it
Mm.
around to because I like for them to see. But continue, sir. Continue, Mr.
Yeah.
Hines.
No,
Very
I'm
good job.
saying that they've done a lot of things very sloppily with the Constitution, and did not afford, which did not afford the importance project to the public the importance of the change to the Constitution. It was just done as and it's a very um, it's very dangerous to make these changes in the way that she did to the Constitution, because you want people to have a certain level of reverence to that document. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be, dipping into it and making changes willy-nilly and not even informing people as to what you're doing, then people, "Oh, it's just a piece of paper." And if people don't believe in the Constitution, then you really don't have a democracy after that. You're opening up,
Mm-hmm.
like with crime, making this big speech, making people think that that what's going on in terms of crime is the responsibility of parents, which is ridiculous, right? You're telegraphing to people that, hey, the government can't fix it, so maybe I should arm myself. You heard that
Mm-hmm.
said, right? That somebody is going to pick up arms and try to protect themselves, and that's leading the country down to anarchy. Because if I start to protect myself, when society says, let us protect you, that's what the police is there for, to protect and serve. But not every person thinks that it is their interest to self-protect, then we can have a whole bunch of uncivil activity occurring. So it, this government is extremely dangerous. I say this, and for her to get up in election and make that statement about the government can't do it. Well, if you can't do it, then you need to go. It's just wrong, But yeah, not stretching
Yeah.
out that. Yes,
Yeah.
the Senate, um, and the word "shall" in the Constitution, and how it's constituted, was not
Mhm.
done properly in 2022.
Yeah. So
74. Yeah.
yeah, although someone is here saying that is this Donnie Calendar? If you could read the comment there while I read what's on the screen. 74 said there shall be a leader of the opposition who shall be appointed by the Governor General by instrument under the public seal.
Hmm. Yep.
Whenever that's it, right? Whenever the Governor General has occasion to appoint a leader of the opposition, he shall appoint the member of the House of Assembly who in his judgment is best able to command the support of a majority of those members who do not support the government, or if there's no such person, the member of that house who in his judgment commands the support of the largest single group of such members who are prepared to support one leader.
Right. So in the case of one person being and no other, that person reposed loyalty in themselves and went forward to the Governor General, President, to say, I no longer support the government. I sit on the other side, and that automatically means that that person becomes the leader of the opposition. I don't know what Donnie Callen is saying by this collection of words that they have, that they disagree. There are doctrines. What doctrines? And what do these doctrines say that guides the interpretation? Barbados is a sovereign country. And whatever these doctrines are, if they are not within, and not only that, the Constitution is the supreme law of Barbados. So there can't be any doctrines that outside of the Constitution that guides the interpretation of our supreme law. No, the only body who can guide the interpretation of the supreme law is the Supreme Court. If there is some misunderstanding, then you go to court, and the Supreme Court will tell us what is the interpretation of any section of our supreme law. I don't know what these doctrines and guides and interpretations of constitutions that can be applied to our constitution. I don't agree with that set of words that Donnie just put up. Sorry.
Yeah. And somebody is okay, yes, I agree. But I mean, you know why, Mr. I'm forgetting names tonight, but we have a gentleman who would normally come on and he would bring all the maps. And so he was speaking to me about this, but I wasn't following him.
Oh, John Knox.
John Knox.
Yep.
He was talking to me about this. Why I wasn't following what he was saying.
Yes, he did. He did say it. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take rocket science to understand what this means. It doesn't. It doesn't take. Yeah. So
Yeah, but somebody's saying that Mr. Patterson lost the case, and he was supposed to go on with it. He was supposed to appeal.
I don't know. I don't know that he went to court. I know there was a gentleman that went to court for something to do with the holding of the 2022 elections, and
Yes,
they
that's
lost.
Philip.
But I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Pedro obviously knows something I don't. That Patterson went to the Supreme Court and lost, which would not be a shocker to me, as I've said many times, that the way this particular prime minister is using the awesome powers of the prime minister's office is that she has ensured that the tentacles, the power tentacles of the prime minister's office goes and flows throughout government, right? So they will make official statements, but in the background, things are happening that we don't see. Like, and Motley does this all the time. She comes out and says that she received a letter, making it sound all official. She received a letter from the president stating that there shall be a by-election in Barbados. Now, the average person hearing that would tend to think that she had nothing to do with the fact that there is a by-election in St. James North. That
it was
the
called by
president.
the president. It was called by the president.
All of convoluted language, when we all know that the awesome powers of her. She's exercising the awesome powers, and then telling the president to say this, and then referring to the public and saying to the public, "Oh, I received a letter." Yeah, you received a letter because the structure of government says that the public seal, that when you make these decisions, there should be the public seal should be affixed to them, and the president holds the public seals, and by law, when you want something to be affixed with the public seal, the president is obligated to do that, because she's just a ceremonial president. She has to do what she is advised to do all the time, right? So, but they use this convoluted language to continue confusing people that something important has happened that was not occasioned by me, the prime minister. No, it doesn't work that way. Everything, all roads lead to the prime minister. All big works must go to the prime minister. That is very, very true.
Yeah, very true. Well, before we wanted to touch on the economy, and so the people love to hear you, and we didn't get a chance, but you kind of touched on it a little bit, and then you got to give me about 5 minutes to deal with this thing with Neil Rowe, and also Neil Rowe and Abrams, because I realize that a lot of people on brass tacks, they don't use brass tacks to widen any kind of rift in the BLP. It's not used. Brass tacks is not used for that, Brass tacks is only used to widen any rift that they see in the DLP. So I'm going to talk about them this time. But let me give you a couple minutes. We have 10 minutes. So we're going to share it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So what do you want me to talk about? The economy? You said?
You want us to leave that for Sunday and deal with the Neil Rowe thing?
What time is it now? 9:50. Yeah, I think the economy is a much bigger, because I want to tell people the way I structure things. I'm going to use terms that I want to define the terms. Excuse me. I want to define the terms so that people can follow along, like what is macroeconomics and what is microeconomics, and then explain to them, summarize what Dr. Don Marshall said in the context of macro and microeconomics, so that people can follow along. So I think, we should do that on Sunday. We can quickly talk about Neil Rowe. I think Mr. Torn did a fantastic job in explaining that scenario, and I think people should go and watch.
So let's set it up before you go right in it, because everybody might not have known. So Neil Rowe was accused of rape, and the case has gone to court, and he has been acquitted. And when he got out of the courthouse, along with his lawyer standing beside him,
Exactly.
he made some statements, and in those statements, part of the statement that he made, he alleged that his colleague, who's Wilfred Abrams, and I don't know if they can put up their pictures, that his colleague Wilfred Abrams, he said that that colleague, he believed lied, alleging that the colleague Wilfred Abrams lied under oath.
Right. He didn't say he believed. He said he lied.
He said he lied. That's
He
what
didn't. He
he
believed
said,
that he
and
did.
I'm
He said he
allowed
lied.
to say
Right.
he said
Oh,
that.
absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
And for me, it's an allegation. He's alleging that the man lied, that Wilfred Abrams lied under oath. Anybody heard that?
Yep.
I wonder if anybody heard that.
Well,
Now I will. No, you can go right ahead and say what Mr.
Right.
Thorne was saying. Yeah.
Right. So a slight issue occurred as a result of that. Many of us who listened to it live heard that part of it, where he referred to a colleague taking the oath and lying, and that colleague should know better because they are a member of the cabinet, right? When VOB and CBC and these other places publish the audio note of that exchange, that part that Mr. Rose said was cut off. So I wondered why. I reached out to one of the media people, and they said that they have concerns about defamation, about libeling or whatever Mr. This colleague. And I said, okay, yeah, that's kind of. But I was wondering, why would Mr. Lashley, the lawyer, standing next to his client, allow for his client to so brazenly libel or slander somebody, right? So I said, it can't be. And but I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. But then I listened to Mr. Thorne break it down. And Mr. Thorne says, look, Mr. Abrams went to court, gave his evidence. At some point, the jurors adjourned, came back, and issued a not guilty, which suggests that the jury did not believe what Mr. Abrams said, right? So if the plaintiff, Mr. Rowe, is of the opinion, based on the evidence that Mr. Abrams gave, and the jury not believing him, it must be that he lied, right? And that he's right. He is within his right to say so, right? So that if I took it at that point, I didn't understand that, but that makes sense to me. That if you give evidence and that evidence was rejected by the jury, then the jury must have been of the opinion that you did not tell the truth. So if you didn't tell the truth, it meant you told a lie, right? So that that the plaintiff then was within his right to characterize that evidence as not the truth, which would be a lie. So he didn't do anything wrong, right? But if Mr. Abrams was to want no, so I think the argument was that he perjured himself. That some of the armchair folks were saying that he perjured himself by lying in court. I'm like, no, he didn't perjure himself. It's just that he gave evidence, and the jury didn't believe him, right? He did. It would be for the court now to prove that Mr. Abrams perjured himself. You don't, he didn't automatically perjure himself because his evidence was not taken into account to produce a guilty verdict, right? So again, the Mr. Rowe was within his rights, according to Mr. Thorne, to say what he said. And so, with regards to how the Barbadian defamation laws are written, where a third party person repeating something that is not true can they themselves be held to account, is the reason that VOB and CBC are suggesting as the reason why they cut that part of it out, right? So it's I no, and that's a part that I bought. But for me personally, I was of the view that even if there was an argument by Mr. Abrams to suggest that yes, he was indeed defamed, and that he would have recourse to take Mr. Rowe to court, I don't think that would happen. that would be a very nasty fight, and for a political party that is accusing another party of disunity, that would clearly,
You
be
know, it's not that
yeah,
he can't do it, but it's
yeah,
not that he can't do it. It's that you
yeah.
think he might not do it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Motley and the other leadership of the party would say, no, we not under our watch. We're not going to do this, and cause the name of our party to be sullied because we have an argument against the Democratic Labour Party as a disunited party, and here it is now you fighting in court. That would not argue us. So I think that in itself would say that they're not going to do anything, and before long you're going to see two of them out in public hugging up, and that laid to rest. I guarantee you that that's going to happen, right? So yeah, that I wrote this. I said I think such would likely not occur. That political party unity may call for camera heads and a likely outcome out of court settlement if there is to be one.
Yeah.
One,
Well,
Roe laid an accusation about a colleague lying under oath. In that case, he did not state it as an opinion. He said in that he did so as a fact, and he would need to prove, especially if the court took no action against the witness for doing what Roe appears to have alleged. In my opinion, to take action against a former plaintiff and not their witness would be messy and likely unsuccessful. So you would have to take action not only against you would have to take action against the defendant, the lady, against the young lady, as well as Mr. Abrams, in order to have success, because it would be a case of both people lying, not one and not the other, if that's what he's contended. So yeah, it's.
okay. Well,
I don't think anything is going to come out of it.
That's your view of it. Let me read what somebody with a legal mind wrote,
Yep.
right? And they said they sent this to me. Can someone tell me if Mr. Wilfred Abram has responded to the charge publicly made against him by a party colleague that he committed the criminal offense of perjury against him in an effort to have him convicted? Without a response from Abrams, can he survive as a member of parliament and sit on the same side as Roe? What also is his obligation as a member of the cabinet and an officer of the court who has from time to time acted as Attorney General to Parliament, given the Westminster principles which our Parliament observes? So that is a question that somebody in the legal fraternity, those are questions that they send. So there are different views on it. So I just wanted to present that.
I think a clearer picture with that, because I honestly at this point I can't recall the exact words of Mr. Abrams' testimony, right? I did hear a small part of it, and the small part of it I heard he was answering yes or no to questions that was put to him, and he did not, in my view, again, say anything in the affirmative that agreed with the young lady's insistence that she was raped, right? So it depends exactly on what he said. That it very well could be that Mr. Rowe is interpreting what he said as a lie, when in fact what Mr. Abrams said was not a lie, right?
Well, I will leave it because as we said, we don't know, we weren't there. I leave it to the lawyers and Mr. Rowe and his attorney and all of that. We are just asking questions, right? Because none of us, we're not attorneys, right?
Yeah.
So
somebody
was asking me if you're an attorney. So
no, I'm not. I said that up front. I'm not.
No, they didn't hear. So I just repeating. None of us. We're not attorneys.
No,
okay?
I'm not. I am not.
Definitely not.
Giving my opinions, but I live in a democracy that is governed. Barbados is a nation of laws, and I try to understand the laws that govern my existence in this society as best as I can, right? So just because I'm not a lawyer doesn't mean that I shouldn't have an opinion about legal matters, right? So
yeah. So we just want to make that clear, because the person can ask it something, I think twice or something. All right.
And only being a lawyer only comes in as to whether you're going to defend somebody or whatever. You know, I'm not defending
Yeah,
anybody. I'm just
that's
giving an
all right.
opinion. I should
That's
be
all
able to.
right. I guess they want to know. They just wanted to know, since we're speaking about legal issues, and
Yeah.
I, I don't purport to be anything like that at all, and that's why I read for you what the lawyer is asking. What this person in the legal fraternity said this to me. Okay, all right, folks. Well, we have come to the end of a show again, Adrian, and it's been exciting. I hope
Yeah.
you're having fun.
Yeah, I am. I like, I love to be in conversations and yeah, talking about social things. I think more people should find some. I don't know. I like this. I like yeah, discussing topical issues that um are floating around in the society that you're living in. So I think more
Yes,
people should be involved.
yes,
You
yes.
know.
Actually, we had a little thing to play, but we will probably, I'll leave that for Sunday. That we will do that regarding this whole issue, but we're gonna leave that for Sunday. We'll drag it out and do that on Sunday as well, right? Oh
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
somebody say excellent show. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you to Mr. Colin Spencer, who was just, I mean, he came with guns blazing tonight, Adrian. We thank him so much. And thanks to the president, who I thought, represented himself very well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought he did very, very well. And I'm very happy about the office that they were able to set up there, knowing that they don't have the funding, and they're still trying. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And thank you to you, Mr. Hines, for joining us and bringing that, that excitement and all of that. and and to um and to Dave, thank you, Dave, for being so quick on the draw with all the different things we throw at him, and for everybody who sent me stuff while the show is on, etc. And so, please do not use this, because of what I shared tonight, to attack Miss Dimmott online, because we are too good at that. It's over for me. That happened so long, and you only hear me speaking of it now because she is making the rounds on all of these different shows and so on. And I thought that I knew something and I needed to speak up, but that's over for me. I'm not holding on to anything. Please don't go now and make a big thing about this with Mr. Mott, and that's gone. I prayed about that. That's done. I came on here because I hate to see injustice and I hate lies. And I thought I needed to set something straight. Okay. So let's call it a day with that. All right. Don't attack the lady, please. Okay. Thank you so much. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., Traore is not alone. The people of Barbados walk with him. And that's 10 a.m. And that's going to be across from the U.S. Embassy compound. And I'm hoping that you will go out and support. As you support the local issues, you will also support this. And as you're supporting this, some of you will only come to this. Don't forget the local issues. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So thank you so very, very much to everybody who joined us, every single caller. We appreciate you. Tomorrow, go out and support the DLP. Saturday the 10th, 6:30. I'm waiting on Alex Mitchell. You need to respond to me. Stephanie Williams, you need to respond to me. Those are, I consider them our candidates as well, because they make up, Adrian, the
Yeah.
opposition. So
Yeah.
respond and come on the
Agreed.
show and get some time on the show. Okay.
Yeah.
God bless you. Love you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Goodbye. Have a
Bye-bye.
good night.
Mr. Barrow, the government is in trouble because they turn their backs on ordinary people. We can't pay we bills summer, we can't even buy rice. Fishermen had to go to Grenada to get ice.
What year was this?
All these things.
I don't know what year, Dave.
But Yabian had nothing to say.
Write it in the chat, in the private chat.
Okay.
The two men who care. Oh yeah. The man turned to Rasta, then he turned BLP. I know he turning so frequently. I wonder if he now turned to homosexuality.
Oh my God.
He didn't tell you the education ministry is in a miserable state. And every new school term, some school or the other, always reopens late. He didn't tell you about the traveler's checks a man get to help with the heart. And how after he get them fixed up, he tell his colleagues from one party, I must depart. Not a word about a Caribbean prime minister who is known to have made a bet that when he leave office he must have $50 million in assets. So anytime you want to know Errol Watson what's going on about here, let me tell you.
Pick up your phone and call Spencer right away.
Por información importante.
Pick up your phone and call Spencer right away.
Yeah, 10 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right. Have a good night.
For real.
Okay.
Mr. Barrow, tell whoever might